Boom. All right. And we are live. Let's see. I know there's usually a little delay between the chat and the live stream. Everything should be good right now. Everything should be all right. Yep. Oh, we good. The chat sees it. Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Welcome to another episode of 60 Frames No Lag with your only friends in these YouTube streets, PorterPoerter77. I gotta ask, do we sound crispy up in here? Is everything crisp? Or do we sound like dog poop? Henry Lau's like grand opening, grand closing. Yo, what up, everybody? What's going on? What's up? Yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna get up in here. I'm noticing, I seen some pictures of people already copping that slim. Yo, it's crazy. But anyway, let's go through. We got a new guest up in here. Someone snuck in and hacked the servers and said, Porterac, you gonna put me in this podcast? Well, I'm shutting everything down. And I'm like, I don't even know how he got here, but we're gonna introduce him. But first, we got the Messiah, the voice of Xbox. Are you still the voice of Xbox, or you gave up on that dog shit console? Aren't you like
only voice of Xbox?
Aren't you like the voice of the 4070 now?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I got a 3060, so that'll.
Okay.
I'm jealous of the.
So you're the whisper of the 3060.
Yeah, I'm the 3060.
You a quiet whisper. Yeah. What's going on, my brother? How you been?
What's going on, man? I'm doing well. I can't complain. This stuff. The weather changed literally all of a sudden. Everybody's walking around in shorts on Friday, and then
now it's freezing.
Yeah, it was like it hit in the face. I was like, God. But
yeah,
hang in there.
All right, cool. What's going on, man? Hey, happy Halloween, my brother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I ate some candy. Yeah.
All right, today's the last day for spooky season, and now we're gonna go into Thanksgiving, but people already putting up their Christmas trees, which makes no sense. Like, bro, let it breathe. Give Thanksgiving its due, at least. You know what I'm saying?
They're playing Christmas music now.
I know. I'm like, what? Like, already. Anyway. All right. But I'm glad you're here. I'm pretty sure E4 Extreme and J-Dub will show up. They like to be last to the party. All right. Oh, yeah. But it's all good. Yeah, of course. Now, ladies and germs, my friends and family, I want to introduce you to the new one on the block. Someone said, hit me up in the DMs and say, yo, Porterac, I need to get on your podcast. I got shit to say. He needs to get shit off his chest. So we're about to find out what he got. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, because I don't even know who he is. Who are you? Who sent you?
Well,
who sent you?
Hey, everyone. My name is The Brain. It's a pleasure to meet with everyone.
Hold on. Your name is what? Your name is what? Who? The Brain? So where's your boy at?
Who's that? Oh, Panky.
I don't know that dude. Hey. Wait, hold on. Let me talk to the chat. Is his volume low? His volume? The Brain's volume is low? All right, hold on. Let me adjust. All right, go ahead.
Can y'all hear me better?
How you sound now?
How do I sound? Can y'all hear me?
Y'all hear how you sound now? I adjusted his volume. Perfect. All right.
Perfect. All right, good. Yeah, as I said a little bit earlier, the name is The Brain. I'm just happy to be on. I've been following you for quite some time. Actually, I've been following you since either 2016 or 2017. It was about a month or two before you went to Germany, and then from Germany to California.
Oh,
I've been a fan.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah. Yo, I appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for rocking out. So you know the old school stuff.
Yeah.
You saw me when I was at my worst.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You saw me using that dog shit PS4 mic.
Yeah, I saw you using it, but that was cool though. You know what? What really made me actually become a fan of yours is that it's not so much that everything that you say is correct, but the stuff that you do say makes a lot of sense. And when I was listening to other YouTubers, it was just a bunch of pundits. You know, I would compare them to like Fox News. But when I listened to you, I was like, yo.
He said everybody else is fake news.
Yeah.
You know what's names out. Oh, no, I was like them real journalists, bro. I had a little camera and a small mic up in the battle zone. I had that dog shit PS3 camera. I had a PS4 camera and a PS4 mic. That's what I started out with.
You know what? You was the polar opposite of what's the really bad guy? I think Crap Gamer. You was the total opposite of him.
Oh shit! Well, I think appreciate salute, man. Hey man, and listen, if you guys in the chat, let's say you tuned into my channel over the last 2, 3, 4 years, I recommend go to the video selection, sort by oldest, and look at like my first few videos. Boy, those are some hard times. Those are some hard times, boy. That was me in the raw. That was before all the glitter and the glamour. Those are the good old days, boy. Oh man, that's when hip hop was pure. Now we got commercial. Now we all commercialized. Oh snap, those were good times, man. I appreciate it, man. So tell us a little bit about you. You know what I'm saying? Give a little people background. Like, what was your first taste, introduction to gaming, favorite console, favorite type of games, things like that.
Yeah, so I've been gaming. So I'm 40 years old. So I've been gaming for the past 35 years. Now I had I had a hand-me-down, either a 5200 or a 7800 Atari, and I remember specifically playing Metroid or Pitfall Harry. But being 4 or 5 years old, I wasn't passing anything. Even if my life was dependent upon it, I wouldn't pass anything. But the first console that solidified me falling in love with gaming was the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. And with that, the reason why I remember that is because of back in 1989 when my parents first got that for us, I was put on punishment. And the reason why I was put on punishment and I didn't get a chance to play it immediately was because my dad, he had a record player. But to me, I didn't know it was a record player. I thought it was a turntable. So I tried to, mix his record player and I got a beating and been on punishment for that. And that just coincides with me with Nintendo. I couldn't play it, but the moment I had the ability to play it, the first game that I actually liked a whole lot was the Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden on Nintendo.
Oh, and that's a hard one. Yeah, that game was no joke.
Yeah,
Ninja Gaiden.
I still can't play. Not play. I still can't pass. Man, it's like I never ended it. Never ended it.
Really? You gotta make that a mission. Yo, that game was serious. Yo, yes, Ninja Gaiden, and it was completely different than the arcade. I remember me and my cousin, we used to play Ninja Gaiden arcade, but it was like a co-op game, and it was like isometric, and it was like a street beat 'em up thing, right? You had a red ninja and a blue ninja, and we were like, yeah, beating it. It was called Ninja Gaiden. Then when we saw the cartridge and it said Ninja Gaiden on, for Nintendo, we were thinking, oh snap, this is Ninja Gaiden. So me and my cousin were thinking it's what we play in arcade. When we popped that in and we saw this side-scrolling platform, we were like, what the is this? Like it was like we were confused. We were looking at the game like Ninja Gaiden. This is Ninja Gaiden. It's nothing alike. But then we started playing it and it was dope. But I remember that shock. We were like, yo, this is not the arcade game. It was like, because I had my controller, he had his controller, we were ready to, get down. Nope. It was a completely different game, but it was still dope. Man, that Ninja Gaiden, that was serious, man. Ninja Gaiden's always been a classic, and it's always been a challenging game. Man, you brought back memories, man.
I'm trying to think what level I always get. Matter of fact, it's level 6-2. And I always get stuck at the part where it's the Hawk and the witch throwing the crosses in the back.
Oh, okay.
Whereas And whereas if you kill one, matter of fact, you know how you kill an enemy, but they just infinitely respawn. So that's where I always got stuck at, and even to this day, I still make the same mistakes playing Ninja Gaiden. So it's like, you know what, the hell with this. But
he's like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So I'm cool. But going back to your other questions, as far as my favorite console, I probably got to say either the Dreamcast or the original Xbox. And the reason why I say those two, the Dreamcast was the first system that I bought with my own money back in 2000. But I really liked Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was really my game. But going back to the original Xbox, when I fell in love with that, what really made me fall in love with that was Morrowind. And at that time, I thought with Xbox and Morrowind, there was no game besides on PC. Matter of fact, PC was just a whole different world to me at that point. But back in that time, back in 2002, with the original Xbox and having Morrowind, I said, yeah, there's no game on PlayStation that's really touching this. And with the amount of and I didn't care if Morrowind costed over $100 at that time. To me, it was like the amount of hours that I was able to get out of that. It was worth it. But it's really between those two systems as far as being my favorite systems that I ever played. Even though Microsoft, I think they did do the original Xbox really badly. And
that's such a good console, man.
Yes, it was. But the original Xbox was the original Xbox could have been even though I know it's a sixth gen console, but to me it was just so far and above beyond the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and the Dreamcast. Is that should have even been a 6.5 generation, like comparable to like the PlayStation Pro or the Xbox or the Xbox One X, or even. Or maybe even 7th gen, but yeah, the original Xbox One, the way how they talk about Xbox now, that's the way I used to be with the original Xbox. But as I got old, well, not even as I got older, but as time went on, and I saw how the moment the Xbox 360 came out, that Microsoft just stopped totally supporting the original Xbox, and to me, that's where my strikes with Microsoft actually started at. It was like, damn, like you got this is you guys' system. If you guys stop supporting your system, what makes me think that other third parties or second parties is going to support it, which they didn't. So that to me that system is I think that system had a lot of life in it left, and to me it didn't die as tragically as the Dreamcast, but it was tragic nevertheless.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you aligned, because I always called the Xbox like the successor to the Dreamcast. And for a lot of people, like if you know, if you own the Xbox and the Dreamcast, you will know they shared so many similarities in terms of game library. Of course, Xbox took it a step further with the shooters, with Halo and stuff like that. And Xbox Live, took things to a whole new level. But there was just certain things that the OG Xbox did that, the Dreamcast was doing and stuff like that. That's why a lot of people say this was like the successor to the Dreamcast. It was such an amazing console.
Yeah, definitely. In spirit, I mean, I know there were talks originally before the original Xbox came out that Microsoft approached Sega to, not even buying them, but just being able to, purchase the licensing to call it, I guess, the Sega Xbox. I mean, the Microsoft, whatever, Sega Xbox or whatever the case. But I know Sega turned them down. But considering the amount of Sega exclusives that were only on the Xbox at that time, it was like, hey, if somebody actually called that the Dreamcast 2, I wouldn't have been mad at all, just because of the fact of how many Sega exclusives were on there. And it's like, yeah, this man, the original Xbox was a great system. I mean, I could talk about this for the next 15 minutes, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Okay.
Thank God.
He said he's the hey man. He talked about good consoles though.
Yeah.
Now if he would have said Xbox One was his favorite console, I would have booted him off the show. I'd be like, "Yep, you gotta go, buddy. Ejecto, cuz."
Nah, I wasn't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh shit!
I don't even want to talk about the PS4 anymore.
It's like, oh man, this guy. He doesn't even want to talk about PS5 launch. He's like, that's old already. Remaster. He wants a remake of Demon's Souls remake.
Listen, you know it. You know it. This old stuff.
All right, what's going on? All right. So, all right, good introduction, Brain. So we got M up in here. What's going on, Extreme?
Hey, listen, I wish that Ramon was here. I played what is it? Gravity Rush 2.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, it's okay. They can leave that one in the past. It's fine. It's so good.
You said what is so good?
No. They can leave it in the past. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
You.
It's all good. It's all good. Leave it there. Leave it there. It's fine. This is exactly why I said that. Hey, listen. We don't need this whole creative passion project Sony anymore. It's fine. It's all good.
Oh,
we had it.
Yo, bro, and you played 2. If you would have played 1, oh, you would have been mad. You would have been mad as hell, bro.
No, but the thing is,
I couldn't even play. Listen, when I played 1, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, and I bought 1 and 2. I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna play 1, I'm gonna beat it, and then I'm gonna play 2. That was the plan. Yeah. But when I played 1, I'm like, bro, I deleted it, and then I didn't even bother to install part 2. I'm like, man, whatever. Like, if people like it, listen. If you like it, I love it. It's just leave me alone. But I told you, bro. I'm like, if you would have played 1, I'm like, yeah, M's not gonna like this game. He's not. He's not this game.
Listen. The thing is, I can see the brilliance. I can see it, but it's just too old. Honestly, it's just too goddamn old. Like it's a game about having a sense of speed when you're like gravity shifting. And I just played Spider-Man 2, and I think that was like the worst decision I could have made. Because I'm moving and this thing feels slow as molasses. I'm just like, bro, is this meant to be fast? Like, am I meant to trick my brain into thinking I'm going fast? You know, it just goes from going super slow to going slightly faster than that. So just slow. It's fine. It's okay. There's no need for Gravity Rush 3. It's fine.
Listen, guys, if you guys like Gravity Rush, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to dissuade your opinion. If you guys love it, let's say if you like it, I love it. Listen, but I'm telling you, you can clearly. Sometimes we gotta admit, when you see a game, you could enjoy it, but you know the developer's not gonna go far. Like you can look at games like like Forspoken. I'll use Forspoken. Yeah. I enjoyed the game. But I personally know that wasn't it if that studio wanted to go far and make a name for itself. Like, there was a lot of things they needed to fix on that game, improve
Especially
upon.
considering the hype behind it, it needed to hit way harder.
You know what I'm saying? So some games you could be like, cool, I appreciate your creativity, but you can't pay the bills. You can't pay your rent with this. Like, this is not gonna pay your rent. Yeah. You're not gonna have a long sustaining career if you keep doing this. No one's gonna be interested, right? And that's one of those games. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's totally true. It's like I can fully see how there's a niche for this, how there's like even a cult following, but it's like, boy, was never going to be like commercially successful. Like there was no way, and you couldn't even make it commercially successful. Like you couldn't make a Gravity Rush 3 from today, with the power of the PS5. That would be interesting to most people. Like it's just
like you have to completely change the game and its concept.
Yeah, you would have to go like
and then people would hate it because then the people who play 1 and 2 would hate it because it's not
exactly.
It's like
it's not what they wanted. It's a bit like Beyond Good and Evil. Remember how they changed it completely? And Ubisoft went to like this massive open one. People were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like it has nothing to do with the first one. They just use the same characters. You would have to do that for it to be commercially successful, which of course would completely betray the legacy of the game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what, guys, just enjoy that you have it. If you enjoy it, good for you. If you like it, I love it. I might even play it. I might even continue to play it. But when I saw that the game was 30 hours long and how long to beat, I was like, 30? What the fuck? Bro.
He's like, yo, what is this, an RPG? The fuck is going on?
I thought it would be like a 6-hour experience because I'm like, bro, I can't do this shit for much longer. They're like, it's 30. And then they said it's 53 hours to complete everything. I'm like, how did you find an extra 23 hours?
Doing what?
Jesus
you
Christ,
squeeze, like, talk about squeezing to the last drop.
Jesus. I'm like, how'd you find 53 hours in this concept? Like, this is a 5-hour experience, to be honest. Like, if they did it, just made it short and quick, I could actually see myself play for $30. Yeah. Yeah. but no.
Oh man.
Yeah,
right.
we're talking about Gravity Rush.
All right, so shout out to SNK. He says, true story, I beat Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3 for NES. Man, to be honest, I can't remember. I don't think I beat those games. I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe I was in shock. I don't know. I can't remember. Shout out to you though, man. Those are some skills. Stuart Stokes, brand new news just dropped. Xbox is demanding Xbox consoles back that were given to media sites that are reporting on the Brazil price increase. Yeah, that's what I was just saying earlier. So we'll talk about that. So anyway, so let's hit it up. Let's hit it up the topic. We're gonna do a little chit chat. We got PS5 Outsells Xbox 9-1 in France. Reveals latest data. Man, the French always have good taste. It says Europe has never been Xbox's strongest region, but newly shared statistics suggest things have gotten even worse for Microsoft. While Microsoft shared a positive outlook on the performance of its Xbox business recently, highlighting its improved revenue and Game Pass subscriber growth, there was a notable caveat: the drop in hardware sales. Despite Starfield otherwise proving successful, particularly in the US, it seems its Xbox exclusivity wasn't enough to push more people into buying Microsoft console, at least not enough to help catch up to PlayStation 5. You rarely get breakdowns by individual country in Europe for any console, but new information reveals that the ratio of PlayStation to Xbox sales is nearing a split of 90 to just 10%. This is according to the French outlet. I don't know how to pronounce that French name. Ludostri, I guess. Eh? And its examination of Microsoft and Xbox in the wake of Activision Blizzard buyout, which describes Xbox sales in 2023 as catastrophic. Not only that, comparing Xbox sales in September 22 to September 2023 shows a significant drop, even with Starfield and improved stock availability. While the Xbox has always struggled in mainland Europe, it does particularly poorly in France, so Nintendo fared much better by comparison, which could be attributed to France's love of Japanese media like anime and manga. As Japanese companies, Sony and Nintendo have a natural advantage, although most of Sony's output nowadays comes from its Western studios. As Xbox boss Phil Spencer has stated himself, many console owners made their format choice long ago, and the more time goes by, the harder it is to change anyone's affiliation. Close this. What doesn't help, though, is that Microsoft apparently makes little effort to push Xbox in France, with locals claiming Xbox marketing is almost non-existent. It also seems to put little effort into localization, with poorly translated games, and even the Xbox UI being infamous amongst French fans, although apparently they were lucky to at least get French voiceovers for Starfield, as Microsoft didn't even bother with an Italian dub, despite Bethesda's producing one for its previous game. So, listen, this is like a symptom of the whole thing with their Xbox console. More and more, it seems like Microsoft is moving away from even making their console on any level relevant. Like, it's just there. Like, you hardly see a marketing push for its hardware, right? You hardly see Phil Spencer actually talk about the Xbox console. They don't really talk much about that hardware. It just talks about software stuff, right? Are we seeing signs that Microsoft is just going to be, and I would say with the influence of Satya, him being the CEO of the entire company, and he's a very software on everything type guy. If you look at all the other divisions and everything else Microsoft, he's very big on just he was the one that made the decision to put Microsoft Office on Apple, Mac. He said, why the hell is it exclusive to Windows operating system? Put it on Mac. He's like, we already dominate the OS space. There's no reason to keep Microsoft Office off of Apple. There's just no point. It doesn't make sense. He was the one that made that decision. And guess what? You could get Microsoft Office on Mac machines. You don't need Windows, whatever, right? So he's a very software on everything type, whatever. So is this signs little by little of Microsoft and through Satya's influence to make Xbox that type of product, software everywhere, which ultimately leading to third party? We'll start with you, Craig. No, we'll start with the new guy. The new guy's here. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got the mic. Come on, brain. Hit it up. What you got?
You know what? The sun is yellow and water is wet. I said
neither of those statements are actually true. Let me let you go on.
Oh shit!
Just scientifically speaking, both of those are lies.
But to answer your question, you know what? I don't know. I really don't know. Only thing that I would have to say or make a better comparison is when.
Come on, commit to the cause.
Commit to the lies you just told. What is it?
No, I'm about to use another comparison. The fact. Remember when you was able to get Microsoft Office, as a standalone product, and you didn't have to pay yearly subscriptions for that. To me, that would have been a better comparison because of based on that. I do see the similarities as to what they did in the PC space, what they're doing in the gaming space with Game Pass and potentially having that be everywhere, especially with this $70 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard. So it wouldn't really surprise me because at the end of the day, the hell what we think as gamers, it's all about the shareholders. So unless you got stock in Microsoft, then the hell with you. But to answer your question, I would say, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft decides to to be so software oriented that it puts its software anywhere and everywhere that it could potentially put its software at, and that's pretty much it. I'm just so unimpressed with Microsoft. It's like, yeah, why haven't they gone away with the dodo yet?
Because they have a lot of money to survive.
I thought that 20 years ago too with the original Xbox. Oh yeah, they got $2 billion to put behind this, and shit, that was a lie.
Oh shit! All right. Thanks. Great points, man. I like it. All right, Craig. Mm-hmm. What you think about this? I know you talked about Microsoft going third party plenty of times.
Yeah. I just they made an announcement. I can't remember if it was circa 17 or 18, and it was just something to the effect of what if you could play any game you wanted, anytime, anywhere, on any device? And they've been doing that ever since they announced it. I don't understand when a company makes announcements like this, why people don't believe it. But yeah, I mean, people are like, well, they bought they own Minecraft, and that's on everything. And yeah, now they have Call of Duty, and that's going to be on everything. So
hey, they're saying your mic is a little low, and I got you maxed out. So is it on?
Yeah, it could be on my end.
It could be on your end.
All right, so I'll go all the way up to 100%. So, yeah, and it's like I said, it's just another reason why I've always thought they're going third party, and everybody thinks that's terrible. It's not. They'll actually do much better monetarily going third party. It is what it is. It's not bad. So, yeah, I don't really have an opinion either way on it. To me, it's just more or less what they're going to do, and either you can support it or not. It's up to you as a consumer. Pretty much it.
All right. Extreme. What are your thoughts?
Hey, first of all, let's clear up some misconceptions here. All right, people. The sun is white, okay, and water isn't wet. All right, because wetness is a measure of a solid being infiltrated by a liquid. That's what wetness is. So let's just get the scientific facts out of the way. That being said, listen, the PlayStation 5 outselling 91 in France. It's garbage, but it's also a sign of what's to come. All right. Do you guys remember Destin Legary? He had his silly little hand graph. He was so proud of it. Like through the COVID years, he would just come every time and he would do his little hand graph, and then the two hands would kiss at the end, and then he would be like, "Oh, you see, the Xbox is going to catch up to the PlayStation because they have the Series S and their Series X." And little Timmy is going to be like, "Oh, mommy, please, darling, mommy, could you at least please get me the Xbox? Just the Series X will do, mommy. Just the S. I don't need the X. I don't need good games. I just want the cheap garbage. I just want Starfield, And the truth is, I told him way back then that this is the silliest thing I've ever seen. But now the new narrative is, guess what? It doesn't matter. I've heard people say, "Oh, that's in France." Like it's some kind of like backwards third world country that Xbox wouldn't even. it's like,
like it's a third world France. Like whoever heard of France?
Yeah, I never heard of it. France. What is it? What is it? Like all they do is eat croissant and like jerk off to PlayStations. Like I don't know. I just like, that's in France. Like why would Xbox care about France? Like what is it? Yemen next? Like what else are you going to say? Like,
snap!
Listen. This is a bad look. Now, whether or not you believe that Microsoft will go third party, honestly, I don't care because either way, Microsoft doesn't offer me anything I want. So I really do not care if Starfield is on PlayStation in the future or if Xbox is going to put Halo on PlayStation in the future because I wouldn't care to play those games. They're garbage. Like it doesn't matter where you put them. So I don't care if they go third party. What I do know is that I am tired of people saying that they should get to stay simply to give some kind of like false voice of competition because they're not competing. And if they're not competing now, let's just be honest and say they're not competing. Let's people always say that, oh, you should want Xbox to go away because we need competition. Like, why? I do want them to go away. They're bad competition. Like they're
Oh
not
shit.
competing. If they're not doing what you say that they should stay here to do, then why should I root for them to stay? Like, no, they're not good at competing. Look at what we're going to talk about next, where people are like, hey, listen, PlayStation is just like feeling themselves and are acting too arrogant and everything, and they need stronger competition. Everybody's always asking for PlayStation to have stronger competition and just ignoring Xbox. So I want this version of Xbox to go away. I want them to get better leadership. I want them to actually care about their consoles. I want them to actually charge prices so that they can bring games that justify the budgets that those games will cost. And I want them to get rid of this whole Game Pass dead promise because I think that is just a way of not delivering what I want out of them. But honestly, at the end of the day, they could do none of those things. I don't care. They're not competition. They can die for all I want. So, yeah,
I
Hey,
would
I
Microsoft
gotta
is a
disagree
pretty
with.
good way.
Well,
Dang.
yeah, I would simply say one, they did change leadership. I mean, granted, it's part of the same tree, but I think Sarah Bond's in charge. Number two, yeah, I mean, if they are competing their way, they can't out Sony or Nintendo. It's just going to be an ecosystem. So, and either you'll have access to it or you won't. So it's like
But wait,
if I
what
buy an
by
iPhone,
what metric are they competing by? Like, I know
well,
that
I
they're
mean, they
going in
both
different
well,
directions, but
yeah, they're going
by
in
what
different
metric are we
directions.
actually
The
being like
metric,
they're competing?
well, they're buying publishers
That's not
to help
competition.
boost
That's
their
just
brand.
that's just acquisition.
Well, that's the way you compete. Extreme, you
No,
buy.
no. But the thing is, it is the way you compete if you make it then exclusive.
Well, they're making some things exclusive. However, you have a right to your opinion. You want them to go away. Again, the boxes are going to go away, but the ecosystem, maybe like iTunes or something like that. I mean, iTunes isn't a box. iTunes is just an ecosystem you either sign up for via wherever your tablet, your iPhone, your TV, or not. You don't need a box to have iTunes. So and Xbox is going to do the exact same thing. I mean, you literally like they're literally doing it right in front of our faces in real time. But go ahead, Ryan.
I gotta disagree with Extreme on that one. As much as Microsoft is dog shit or Xbox is dog shit, I don't want to see them go away. And the reason why I don't want to see them go away is because of the fact that I remember the PlayStation 3 era when PlayStation, or rather when Sony was transitioning from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3, when I forget the Godfather of PlayStation,
Ken Kutaragi.
Kutaragi, yeah, him. And he said, in order to buy a PlayStation 3, you need to get 2 jobs
Oh, I
or
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. I was like, I never want to go back to that because
Yeah.
by default that made me get an Xbox 360, and I was already feeling some type of I was already feeling some type of way about that. But yeah, to me that was just a little bit too arrogant. So no, the fact that Microsoft is just here is good enough for me because of the fact that I never want to go if we ever go through something like that again, that would seriously make me consider to stop gaming or at least stop buying consoles altogether.
Then you
Yeah.
should stop gaming or stop buying consoles because the fact is, Microsoft is not competing. And Microsoft is not preventing Sony from doing the worst thing that they could do. If Sony wanted to come out and charge $1,000 for a PlayStation 5 Pro, it would be a successful product for them. Like there is nothing like they've got the stuff and Microsoft has nothing to counter it. They increase the price of their PlayStation 5 digital. Why? Because they can. Like that's the only reason. Because there is no competition. Like do you guys keep giving this false sense of like I don't know, sanctimony to Microsoft, like, oh, at least they're staying in the game, you know. Oh, they're so the underdog, you know. Thank God they're here to keep Sony in check. They're not keeping Sony in check. When people are like, oh, you know, what would Sony do? How arrogant would they be? They wouldn't release any games, you know, if Microsoft wasn't there to push them. I'm like, Microsoft is already not pushing them, and they're already releasing far less games than they ever have before because there's already no competition. Like, you're literally living in your worst case scenario. What I'm asking is for Microsoft to change or go away because guess what? Businesses either have to adapt or they have to die. And yes, Craig is right. They are adapting in their own direction. I personally don't like that direction. I don't think that it does anything for me. I don't think that it challenges Sony at all because if you're not going to make anything exclusive, then you're not directly challenging Sony. And so I want a true opposition. So either Xbox can provide a true opposition to PlayStation, or they can leave and someone else can fill in that role. The smartest thing Keith Smith ever said, and according to rumors, probably the only smart thing he's ever said, was that Xbox should sell to Apple because Apple will actually bring competition to the platform. So yeah, I would rather that.
I don't know about that either because Apple had a console back in the mid '90s. I want to say in maybe 1995, and that didn't go anywhere. I mean, here's a question for you, Extreme. I mean, besides if Microsoft was to leave, and again, I agree with you that they don't provide any type of real competition. I'm just stating the fact that they just need to be here for the sake of being here. Everything else, you know, to me is irrelevant. But to my question to you, who do you think would be a good candidate to replace
Well,
them?
I think that gaming as a media, okay, we are already the most, what is it? The most valued entertainment medium. You know,
Yeah.
we make more movies than sorry, we make more money than movies and music, sometimes even combined. So guess what? There is no way that wealthy companies are going to let Sony and Microsoft, even if they stayed, be the only players in that market. Like you already saw Google try it, you already saw Amazon try it. If Xbox was for sale, it would be sold to an Amazon or a Google because Google's problem was that they had no patience to build up this first party studios because they realized that it was going to take at least 10 years before they made a dent. If they could just buy Xbox and its studios, yeah, they would. Amazon would do the same. Apple might even be interested. The only thing about them is that they like to come up with their own software from the ground up, so they'll probably shut down Xbox for like 5 years before they integrate everything fully into their ecosystem. But you know, you have other outside players, and guess what? I don't think that in the next 20 years we are only going to have, you know, Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation as the only home consoles. I think there are going to be others that are going to come into the home console space. Even if they don't produce a console, like things like you know how
Oh yeah.
Xbox wants to be on your TV. Yeah, I mean, Ouya tried, right? They just didn't have any money behind them. Um, yeah, but I think that you're going to find if we're all going to go to apps, then you're going to see basically what happened to Netflix happen to, you know, the console market, where everybody is going to have the dedicated console-like apps providing console-like experiences because there's just far too much money in this medium to let Sony have it all on the let Nintendo and Sony run the entire show, you know? And yeah, so I am not worried that oh, if Xbox closed down tomorrow, nobody else would offer competition. I actually think it will pave the way for better competition from other people because now they'll only have two incumbent players and they'll be able to find another way.
Or even potentially worse. I mean, the only company that I can think of that's bigger than Sony that's in the gaming space would be Tencent, and I would hate to see a company that big
I
come
mean,
into the
Apple is
gaming
bigger than
space.
Sony into gaming. Apple's the
Yeah, but
biggest.
but but Apple already tried, and not to say that they couldn't try again and be successful, but we already have a
But they
blueprint as to
tried
what
but
they
they
done.
tried when they had nothing to do into gaming. Now they literally make more money than Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo combined when we talk about gaming. You know, sure, it's
In
through the mobile
gaming,
market. Yeah, yeah, but Apple gets more revenue than the big three combined. So they are the biggest company in gaming. They just don't make
Yeah.
any games. But the
Let's
point
see what.
is, if they wanted to, they could easily, you know, turn some of that mobile money into funding for their actual console gaming efforts if they wanted to.
Hold on,
I'm
let me
not
look that up.
convinced.
No, let me look up. Let me look up top gaming publishers by revenue.
Well, they're not the
Uh,
publisher.
I guess that's it. Said let's see. Oh, here you go. No, so all right. This is from Newzoo. It says top public games companies by revenue. So this is top public games company by revenue. So just a games company. Number 1 is Tencent. Number 2 is Sony. Number 3 is Apple. Number 4 is Microsoft. 5 is NetEase. 6 is Google. 7 is Activision Blizzard. That's pretty impressive. 8 is, and then the rest. Oh, Nintendo's 9. But what year is this? This is quarter 2 of 2023. Okay, so this is recent. Okay. This is actually pretty. This is really, really recent. So this is good. So the top 10 is Tencent, Sony, Apple, Microsoft. Yeah, let me put it up so that way everybody can see it.
So the thing is, I'm getting a conflict here because in IGN, that was in 2019. Okay, yours is more recent.
So this is So this everybody should see it right now. So you got Tencent number 1 by a lot. Close that shit. Sony. Number 3 is Apple. Number 4 is Microsoft. Number 5 is NetEase. 6 is Google. 7 is Activision Blizzard. 8 is Electronic Arts. 9 is Nintendo. And 10 is Take-Two Interactive. Then you got, Roblox by itself is up there. And then you got all these other companies, right? So here's the thing. So I don't think we're going to see competition versus Sony in the sense that you guys are talking about in terms of having a first-party hardware provider. Only because I think the industry, I think Sony and Nintendo have, between them two, locked down the console hardware industry so hard that no one's willing to even bother to invest the money to try to even fight it, right? Because it's not like you can compete Sony and Nintendo overnight. You're talking probably at least a decade to even begin the fight. And I think Microsoft is realizing that. That's why Phil Spencer, he officially says you can't out-console Sony and Nintendo, especially when he said if there was a worse time to lose to them was the PS4 gen, because now with the digital age, people have this expectation of carrying over, their games and stuff throughout generations now. He says, so if there was any point for Xbox to lose, if there was any worse gen for Xbox to lose, he said that was it. That was the worst gen to lose, right? So now, in my opinion, I think Microsoft, as you can see, they're not really focused on the box, and I think with influence from Satya on how he just manages and how he led, because remember, Satya took a company, even though they had a lot of money, but it was like it was $500 billion, right? $500 billion company, and turned it into this $2 trillion beast. And he did it by just putting everything everywhere as much as possible, ensuring everybody had access to Azure servers. He didn't try to keep anything exclusive. Even when they had the Surface tablet, which was a Microsoft made product, he made sure that the software behind it was not exclusive to Surface. You didn't have to get a Surface to get, access to all that stuff, right? So he wasn't that type. Really, Xbox is the only console, is the only product in his company that has that mentality, keep software locked to this thing, right? And I think little by little, he's going to transition the brand away from that, right? Especially like if you want this company to fight for exclusives, right? And I get it, I get the whole argument, for competing, for competition, and stuff like that. So I believe me, you're preaching to the choir in terms of exclusives, competing for exclusives for this brand. But the problem is the console's not selling. So who are you keeping it exclusive to, right? Now, sure, people are saying, well, you have other ways to make money. You have PC, cool, but that's the PC audience. Microsoft had no problem selling to PC audience. Well, you can sell to phones, cool. Cloud, you make money off the cloud, TVs, cool. That's not an issue. But how do you make money in the console space when your own console is barely doing anything, right? That's a market he wants to make money in, but his own product isn't impactful. Just because you can make money in cloud gaming over phones, tablets, and TVs, or you can make money on PC, doesn't mean you could be like, it's okay, we're not making a lot of money on consoles. That doesn't make sense. He wants to make money on PC, he wants to make money on phones, TVs, tablets, and he wants to make money on console. Make money on everything. And when your own console ain't selling, do you just ignore the console market, or do you try to find a way like, hey? And I think what's really going to happen, right? You see a lot of jokes behind, Sony's going to, Microsoft's going to make a killing off of, Call of Duty bundles from PlayStation, right? And everybody's joking, the Xbox fan base is joking, trying to antagonize the PlayStation dudes that Sony's going to make Microsoft richer, so that's an L for PlayStation. I don't think they realize the bean counters aren't console fanboys. They don't give a shit about console wars or whatever. All they're going to see is, God damn, we're making a lot of money off of PlayStation. So those chief financial officers are going to be like, and we're not putting more games on PlayStation because of what? Oh, because of console exclusive fanboy. They're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? I'm telling you, the Activision deal, when they see that Call of Duty money run in, they're going to ask, Call of Duty's making a shit ton of money. How come we didn't see this money on Starfield? And Bethesda has no problem saying it's because we didn't put it on PlayStation. They're going to start looking at these numbers and they're going to start looking at what PlayStation does from a console perspective. And they're going to be like, this is a lot of money that we're leaving on the table. Like, why we're not putting our games on this platform again? Because somebody explained that. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to impact Game Pass, right? Because if you don't want to buy games, you're not going to buy a PlayStation. That's just a reality. If you're one of those gamers where you want 400 games for $17 a month, you're going to stay on Xbox. PC gamers is irrelevant, right? This is not going to stop people from playing on PC. Consoles does not. That's why PlayStation put their games on PC. They realize it's not impactful. A PC gamer is going to stay a PC gamer. There is nothing you really can do. Maybe there's a few that might get tired of it. Maybe they get older. They don't want to deal with tinkering. But for the most part, PC gamers are going to stay on PC. That's just the reality, right? At a certain point, those chief financial officers, they're going to be like, there's a lot of money on PlayStation. So they're going to have to be a really, really good reason to not put the games on PlayStation. And the only reason to not do it is if you think you have a chance to make up market share in the console business. It's not going to slow down Game Pass because, again, Game Pass is phones, is PC, and for those that want it on console, you can still get it on console. But the real question of not going full third party is whether or not you have that fight to sell consoles. That's it. That's the only reason. And as you can see, this console ain't selling. So at a certain point, they're going to be like, listen, we're done with this console shit. That doesn't mean they're not going to make a console. They can still make the console. They're just not concerned about keeping things exclusive to help the console sell better when it's not selling better. It's just irrelevant point. And I think, and they're eventually going to get to that point. I'm pretty sure Satya's going to be like, we're done with this nonsense. And he's just little bit. And that's why if you notice Phil Spencer, more and more over the last couple of years, all he says is play where you want. You know, we're taking the games to you. He's being very careful. So that way, when they're finally execute this, no one can point at him and say, you told us you're going to keep it exclusive to Xbox. He's like, I never said that. I said we're just going to keep things. If you notice all his speech, he's very open-ended. There is no way you could trap him. So when they finally push the button saying we're third party, no one can be mad at Phil Spencer for going third party because he didn't allude anything to saying this is not happening. He did lots of political speak on this one. So as far as somebody taking over, I think I agree with Extreme saying there's going to be more players, but I think those players are going to come in more, be a bigger part of gaming once cloud becomes a bigger picture. Because then at that point, you don't need a device. You don't need a box. Now it's a battle of cloud gaming. But I don't think anyone wants to even deal with, all right, let's make a box, and now we got to compete with Nintendo and Sony, but it's going to take us 10 years for us to even be relevant. I don't think anybody wants to even do that. That's why, I don't think anybody wants to do that. I think everybody's just like, whatever. We want this cloud.
I agree. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do. And, that's still a 70-30 split with Call of Duty. Right now, if you get the PlayStation Slim, you get Call of Duty. According to IGN, you get the bundle for free. You get the game for free. You just have to buy the console, and the game's right there for you. So, you don't even have to pay for the damn game anymore if that's what you want to do. But no, I agree. A lot of this stuff is going to come via cloud. That's why Ubisoft has their stuff, and they have already said Ubisoft would just pay a license fee, and they can put it. And I'm going to quote the CMA. They can, and I'm going to quote them. They can put these games on any device they want. So that includes the Amazon device. That includes whatever. Yes, that includes PlayStation and possibly Nintendo if Nintendo puts out a different console that's has a little more oomph on it. But we can move on. And like I said, they're telling you exactly what they're doing. I don't know what else to say about it.
You know what? If Microsoft has a chance of being competitive again, I think they need to do a repeat what they did during the Xbox 360 era, meaning that they beat Sony 2.
I agree what you're saying, but look what they did. They actually made exclusives for their consoles. Peter Moore was the one that put that success for 360, and he stuck with that model. He brought out banging exclusives. He went after amazing second-party deals, right? He went after Mass Effect. He made a deal with Epic for Gears of War. That wasn't not originally a first-party title. That was a game that Cliffy B pitched, and he's like, hey, that's got to stay on Xbox. He went after Grand Theft Auto, right? He's like, we got to get that game day one, and we're going to do DLC content. You know, he knew what was needed to be done to attract gamers to the Xbox console. He believed in the philosophy, if a gamer wants this console, it's because it has the banging games. Sony just made it a lot more easier for that to happen when they announced the $600 console. And what are you going to play? Resistance? Motorstorm? Genji? You know, fight large enemy crabs and hit them in the weak spot? Like, what games we're playing? You could say they're decent, even if you like those games. A $600 console powered by Resistance, Heavenly Sword, and Genji versus a $400 console powered by Halo 3, Mass Effect, Gears of War. Like, you know, everybody remembers that thing, right? It was a huge difference in titles and stuff like that, right? So he knew what needed to be done. Phil Spencer didn't. Right, and I'll use a couple of examples. 2014, and I talked about this on a podcast. You know, Marvel approached Xbox first, be like, "Hey, let's make a big AAA game. We want our shit to be blockbuster." He said no. Phil Spencer, and his reason was he wanted to focus on his own first party. What first party? You had nobody. What, on Crackdown 3?
Well, Phil Spencer.
What games? It was, remember, he made this decision in 2014 because Marvel approached him in 2014. So when he told them no, when Microsoft said no in 2014, over the next 5 years, what games came out? That was big. What are you talking about? Sea of Thieves? Like, I don't know. What did he talk about? Crackdown 3? I honestly can't tell you. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just, so the right people and the right personality also influence it, right? Right now, when you look at Xbox, they hardly talk about their console. So if you don't even talk about your own console, how do you expect your console to sell? Like, if you're not bigging it up, why should the consumer do? You got to make the consumer feel like the console's bigger than life. Like, yo, you need this box. This box is awesome. You know, when people say, oh, you don't need an Xbox, that's not how you sell Xbox. You cannot expect somebody to go buy your product when you're telling people you don't need the product. You lose them. And they go, all right, I guess, you know. While PlayStation's like, hey, you see commercials everywhere, bundles. This is the product that you need. And people are like, yeah, I need that. It's business 101. You want to sell it. You make a product, you want to sell it. If I make a product, I'm not going to tell people you don't need the product that I'm making. That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Like, what? You know, I mean, does McDonald's say, you don't need to buy a Big Mac? No, they don't tell you that shit. Just because they sell chicken nuggets and chicken sandwiches, they will never make a commercial say, you don't need to buy a Big Mac. You could get a McChicken. Like, no, that's not how you advertise things. That's not it. Just because you can get Game Pass on PC, you don't tell people, you don't need an Xbox. No.
I mean, they made an ad being like, no console required.
Like, you don't do that. You don't do that. Like, you don't put no console required. You could just say, hey, you know, you have like another capability. You know, Xbox is also available on you know, you could like advertise it. Xbox also available on Samsung TVs. Now you're thinking
they could just be like directly from your TV or something.
Or directly, you know, but don't dismiss, you know, because you know what? Because technically you want people on your console and on the TV. You want both. Why not have both? You know,
You should get the people to taste Xbox through the TV and then buy the Xbox. You know, that's basically what you should get
yeah,
into.
you don't hear Apple saying, you don't need an iPad, you got the iPhone. It does everything the iPad does. No, get both.
What about machine learning?
Okay, machine learning, that but Microsoft needs to machine. They're using ChatGPT in this marketing scheme, right? But you don't dismiss, like, you never hear Apple saying you don't need one product over the other just because they're the same cable. Literally, the iPad is 4 iPhones duct taped together. But Apple's not going to tell you that. Apple's going to be like, get the tab. They're going to convince you need all of it combined. You need the watch, you need the tablet, and you need the phone in one ecosystem. Get it all. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you need one thing over the other. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Microsoft is just weird at the stuff. You know, let me hit up some super chat real quick. Okay. We got the Claymores. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm all for competition, but the issue with Microsoft is they aren't trying to compete. They are trying to destroy the industry. Oh shit. Alex Jones. Oh shit. We got Alex Jones up in here. All right. Let's see what Alex Jones. Hey, aren't you getting sued $1 billion? All right. Alex Jones. He says, what you're forgetting is Satya is not in charge of gaming. He said to him, so Spencer makes those decisions. Phil Spencer works for Satya. Make no mistake. He works for Satya. Satya is the CEO of Microsoft. He's the end all be all. You know, let me put it this way. The man lost money. He lost compensation because of Xbox. If you make me lose millions, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to whoop your ass behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Satya lost money in compensation because Xbox failed to meet certain metrics. And because Xbox failed to meet metrics, you don't get your millions. So trust me, Satya's having a deep conversation with everybody. A lot of C-suite execs lost some compensation money, all because of Xbox not meeting certain metrics. You best believe there's some talks going on in Redmond. Donnell Brown, shout out, he says, hey, P-Rock, we got the Poop Bowl this weekend. Raiders versus New York Giants. Whoever scores 10 points is going to win. Both our teams are trash. It's a tough season, bro. Like, when I saw my third string quarterback come out, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think I ever seen a third string quarterback play for the Giants before. This season's a wrap. All right. Let's go to the next quick topic. So apparently, Xbox seemingly raised the price of their Series S in Brazil to whatever. I don't know what monetary. I forgot what monetary system they use in Brazil.
Pesos, maybe.
No, not pesos. That's Mexico. I don't know. What? Hey, what? Chat. I mean, I could look it up in Google, but I'm too lazy right now. What's Brazil's monetary system? We got any Brazilians out here?
The Brazilian real or something.
The royale. What is it?
Real. Or real, depending. I don't know.
Let's see
exactly how you.
Let's see if the chat knows.
Yeah, Extreme is right.
What's it called?
The real.
The real? Real? Or real?
Well,
that's what they call it, real? Oh, real. Okay, with the Spanish accent. The Brazilian real. Real hasta la muerte. Okay, so anyway, $3,599 real dollars. Or real. All right. Anyway, the same price as the PS5 Digital Edition. Woo! Wasn't Brazil the first one to approve the deal? See what you get. See what you get for concubining, and stuff like that, right? So anyway, they raised the price. Then apparently there was talks of, because due to community feedback, Microsoft said, all right, you're right, we heard you, we're not going to raise the price. But oh no, that's not exactly what happened. What actually happened is, apparently Xbox is taking back consoles from people of the media who criticized the Series S prices increase in Brazil. That's some gangster shit right there. You see what I'm saying? See, Microsoft wants 100% obedience. They do not tolerate. They're like, oh, you don't like what's going on with the Xbox Series S? Oh, we got you. We're going to take it off your hands so you ain't got to worry about it no more, since you have a problem with it. Ooh. What do you think? If this is true, like, is Microsoft, like, what's Microsoft doing?
Hey, if this is true, I want whoever is in charge of Xbox Brazil to be in charge of Xbox America. I like this attitude. I like it.
Yo, I never heard of this. You know, people be like, this is messed up. Microsoft's, oh no, we're gonna show you messed up. Give this shit back. Like, how do you take it back? Like, if Microsoft or Sony on there gives me a product, if they here, keep it, they could take it back?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is that like a little agreement? Like, it's a temp loan?
Hey, they just said you can have it. They didn't say for how long. It's like...
Yo, I never heard of that. Like, hey, you know, imagine making an unboxing. Look at the gift Microsoft gave me. 2 years later, they got 2 agents on the door. Give our shit back.
You're talking smack. You're talking smack.
You talking smack. You talking shit. You're not. You know. You're not a loyal concubine. Sorry.
We'll take your house too. It's like,
yo, they took your kid, and yes, we're taking your kid too. Like, you're like, what? Like, yo, this is crazy. I never heard of no shit. Then they came in with the Men in Black. They're like, boo! They just flashed you. You just completely forgot the last 5 years of being a concubine. Yo, this shit is funny. Yo, I'm sorry, but hey, what do you guys think about this? You think this is real? You think Microsoft out here recalling Xboxes because the fans are criticizing it?
No, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. I think it's just people on Twitter making shit.
I want it. Yeah, because yo, this shit is too funny.
Hey, listen. Sometimes the fantasy, the fiction is more entertaining than the truth. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is not real.
If I was there, they'd be like, "Hey, we want our Xbox back." It got stolen.
My dog ate it.
Like, they stole it. I live in a bad part of Brazil. They robbed me day 2. Especially when they found out you increased the price, it made the value go up. They robbed me.
Exactly. They
Not my fault you made it more expensive. It was fine when it was a cheap piece of plastic. But now you made it premium price like the PlayStation? I got robbed.
Yeah.
I ain't got it.
They even left the PlayStation. They took the Series S.
Oh, man.
They didn't want it no more.
Yo,
PlayStation was too hard and too big to carry. You know, they hit me fast. They took the quick thing.
Yo, this is funny. Well, we'll see if it's internet BS. But that is funny. That is, Microsoft is like, you talking shit? After what I did? After I fed you? This is how you treat me? Give my shit back.
I made you.
Oh, that sounds like some extortion, racketeering nonsense. Actually, that sounds like the Microsoft that reminds me of how we were back in the 90s. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, especially if Brazil doesn't have any laws against stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they have a lot of
consumer. I mean, who will create a law against stuff like that? Like, which lawyer will be like, all right, guys, guess what's next on the agenda? Okay, if a company gives product to somebody, let's create a law that says they can't have that thing back if they pinky promised that it could be theirs. Like,
I don't know, but it just seems fucked up. I
mean, if there is a law about that, I'll be questioning how come there was a law already in place.
Can you picture the last 3 years you capping for the shittiest console that has the worst version of games, and because of you just simply saying, in fact, in your mind, you're thinking, damn, Microsoft is messing up. Let me do my part to help them. Hey, Microsoft, you made it too expensive. You can't grow. Come on, guys. I know you can do better. Microsoft's like, shut your bitch ass up and take your console, and you got no games because all you did was play Game Pass. So you got nothing in your house. You got nothing. No games.
You see, this is why I'm telling you that whoever is in charge of Xbox Brazil, I need them to be in charge of Xbox complete. Need them to be president of Xbox because that attitude is going to be great.
You hyping Game Pass. Your whole library's in Game Pass. You're paying your real, 17 real or $300 real dollars per month, and you out there on YouTube, talking shit. PlayStation sucks. You're making the memes. You make it crying. You're playing Spider-Man, forcing glitches. You're doing all this shit, and the one time you say something negative about Microsoft simply because your cousin can't afford it, Microsoft comes in, shut your bitch ass up and grab your shit. And now you got nothing. You're in your room, no games. Because they took your console. They took your controller. They even banned your account. You banned your account. Now your gamer tag is gone.
They paid your landlord to own your building. Now they're kicking you out. They're like,
hey, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you report about, I don't know, maybe within the past couple of years or so that Microsoft had to actually shut down their Xbox Brazil account because there were some issues?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
No,
I don't care about that Xbox.
All I know is Xbox came, grabbed your Series X. They be like, "You want to talk shit? We got an Xbox for you." They give you the Xbox One.
Xbox 360. That's what it is. It's the last one they liked anyway. They said Don Metric. They sent Don Metric down there. The Don.
Hey, yo, right now you got Xbox Brazilian gamers with no games, bro. They stopped buying games because the Game Pass and the one device where they had plenty of games to play is gone. Oh, shit. Yo, that's fucked up, bro. Yo, Microsoft is ruthless, bro. You're going to have... Oh, man. All right. Hey, shout out. Hey, what's the number 3 for in the chat? Somebody... What's that about? Somebody... Is their third birthday? Alex Jones, what's that about? That's you, Alex? You put number 3? What you put number 3 for? What's that supposed... I'm seeing shit on this channel that I don't even know what it is. What it means.
I have no idea.
I know. Y'all see it? It has a balloon 3.
I can't even see it.
Alex Jones, you turning 3 years old? Like, wait a minute. If you're 3 years old, I'm gonna have to tone down this channel. I'm gonna have to flag this as no under 18. Like, what's going on here? I don't know what that is. It's 30th anniversary? Well, whatever it is, congratulations. Oh shit. Anyway, this is what happened. I'm sorry. Or yeah. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm really happy for you, or you have my prayers and deepest condolence sympathies. So I don't know what that means. You have my sympathies, or I'm really happy for you.
Whichever way, I'm with you.
Whichever way, I got your back. You just let me know. All right. Hey, so Bungie apparently delaying Destiny 2 expansion and Marathon release amid layoffs. So it just seems like every week this games as a service shit is just like bad news for PlayStation over and over and over, right? So
I mean, games as a service suck for everybody. Except the ones that don't.
Except for the ones that don't. 70% of the time, I'm right 100% of the time. You know, but like it just seems like every other day. Like if you notice, like obviously people want news, whether it's PlayStation news, talk about games, show us games that you have in development, and we're not getting that. All right, whatever.
People are desperate.
But yeah, sure. Okay, sure. But the shit we don't want, it seems we get a whole lot of it. It seems like there's no shortage of bad news from PlayStation. Hey, factions got delayed. Bungie don't like this. They got layoffs. Oh, this game is delayed. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I prefer, like, if we're not gonna get news, then don't give me any news. Like, just stay quiet.
They didn't give you any news.
They gave me this news.
This is something else. This isn't even them coming out. This is somebody else reporting on them.
Yeah. This is just bad. It just seems like, so what do we think about this? It's like then this is going to lead into the next topic with the PlayStation GaaS. Like, is the push for GaaS or the aggressive GaaS? And I'll start with the brain. See what you thought. But here's my question: do you think Sony went too hard on this GaaS push? And I know we have little information, but the one thing we do know is they were going to spend half the budget on GaaS, so they shifted budget priorities. Now, whether or not there was enough money to make first-party games or not, that's not really the question. We just know they rapidly, drastically increased budget, and that's proven because they showed the whole graph or whatever, a huge budget for GaaS games, and Sony showed by 2025, majority of the budget, approximately 60% of the game-making budget will be towards GaaS games, right? So they already showed that, right? They already announced anywhere between 10 to 12 GaaS games by 2026, which we're really only like, less than 3 years away, right? Do you think Sony, Jim Ryan, whoever, concocted this plan and they went too hard on this plan? Instead of baby steps and build up, they said, hey, put the budget, take the money. We're doing 10 of them. Go. What do you think? Or do you think, no, that's the way to do it? You have to go hard. Go hard or go home. What do you think, Brain?
Nah, I think Sony fucked up on there. Reason being, I'm gonna just say it straight. The reason why I think that Sony really fucked up there is because of the fact that when you think of Sony, or at least when I think of Sony, I don't think of games of a service. I think of the single player cinematic experiences. So the fact that they even, I know what they were trying to do, but going back to one of Extreme's earlier points, as far as being competitive, I mean, they were, they saw the amount of money that, that Activision, Blizzard, or any of the other bigger companies were making from games as a service. It's just that, make a long story short, Sony didn't stay in their lane, and now they're starting to pay the consequences for it. And maybe it was a little bit too early for them. But as far as I'm concerned, it's like, hey man, stick to what you guys do best. You guys are outselling Xbox 3-1 or at least 9-1 in France because of what you guys do well. And games as a service certainly isn't one of them. I mean, come to think about it, I can't even really think of, outside of Destiny and maybe Warframe, games as a service that that Sony really does. I mean, to me that was just Gran Turismo. Really, Gran Turismo?
Yeah, online. Yeah, Gran Turismo Online is games as a service. The online, that's what. Yeah, that game is huge.
No, even the entire game, because they keep releasing cars for the base game and everything.
Yeah,
that's game as a service. They just don't charge for it. So there's at least
yeah. Gran Turismo is huge. Fortnite.
Yeah. No, he's talking about Sony specifically.
Oh, Sony specifically. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Sony specifically. Yeah. Nah. So Sony just really messed up, and maybe it could be prematureness, but yes, Sony is doing something that to me I wouldn't really relegate to them. It's like, hey, when I want a PlayStation or I want a Sony product, I'm thinking it because of Sony quality, as far as Spider-Man 2 or not Ratchet and Clank or Uncharted or Forbidden Forbidden Hit. Fuck.
Forbidden West?
Yeah, Forbidden West. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Sony just needs to stick to what it does in their games as a service. I would really hate to see how much money, besides the $3 billion that I know that they did purchase Bungie for, but I would really hate to see how much money they tend to lose on that, just because of, again, if it's layoffs or it can lead to layoffs, then it's like, hey, that money could have been used for something, but for something else better. But games as a service, I'm against that anyway. Fuck games as a service.
Okay. All right. I think two legitimate games as a service games Sony directly does is MLB The Show and Gran Turismo. Yeah, that they mentioned in the chat. So I do agree those are, you could say, games as a service and stuff. So what do you think, Extreme?
So listen,
your opinion about
I like you, man. I like you. You're well spoken, but you're also absolutely wrong. So let me just kind of let me just kind of remind you of that. Okay. So first things first. To answer your question, P-Rock, you do have to go hard. There is no way that you can break into this new sector of gaming within this generation if you don't go hard. You have to learn, you have to fail fast. You have to learn the lessons quickly. You have to learn them, in a way that is also risky, in order to do it. And you have to go out because you're trying to establish a brand new market segment for yourself. When the brain says, I do not associate games as a service with PlayStation, that's because historically they have not been associated with PlayStation. Multiplayer games alone have generally not been associated with PlayStations. There are examples like Gran Turismo Sport and everything that kind of were like the first to really cross over that gate into live service games. There's things like Factions that was a live service, but again, those were niche experiences. But when you're thinking, okay, we want to get into this brand new market segment, you can't do it halfway. Because remember, they've been doing it halfway. Like Destruction All-Stars, that's what halfway gets you. It gets you Destruction All-Stars. And that was complete garbage. And you know what? If it serves purpose in the bigger whole, then sure. that might be worth having done it. But when you're going to take 5 to 6 years before your next live service attempt, then Destruction All Stars gets to kind of die in an island unto itself. It's better to actually send out these games within a short period of time so that the teams can actually get feedback from gamers and then learn and improve on the job, not just let one project die one after the other. This project can inform the other live service project. If you make a battle pass that everybody hates in these live service games that you own, then every other live service that you own doesn't have to follow that battle pass strategy, because they're going to be like, okay, well, everybody hated that we did this in this one game. We're certainly not going to duplicate that across these other projects. So, and buying Bungie from that perspective was clever. But the thing is this, another reason that you're wrong is that they told you already, and I don't know how many times these people need to be reassured that they are never going to jeopardize their single player games. Jim Ryan said it, Herman Hulse has said it, they've both said it on multiple occasions, and these are not people that speak a lot. So I think that people have short-term memory, or they need to be reassured over and over and over again. But you can go to the PlayStation blog, you find those words. You can go to like The Verge and you find those words. You can go to, what's that website that has nothing to do with us that Jim Ryan likes to speak to? It's like this fashion.
Oh, game industry biz.
No, not just game industry, but he speaks to like another website that has like nothing to do with gaming, like Vogue magazine or something. But anyways, you can go there.
I know what you're talking. It starts with a V.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, you can go there and then you'll find his words saying like, hey, listen, single player games are the core of what we do, and they are the foundation of what we do, and we are never going to take away from that. And for the most part, GQ, somebody got
GQ?
it. GQ magazine.
Or GQ.
There you go. Yeah, he speaks to GQ, like nothing to do with us. Like he just loves speaking to them. Okay, maybe he's a fashionista. Could you imagine? Like Jim Ryan next show, he's like he's got a fashion.
He's gonna be he's gonna be in Paris
he's
Fashion Week
runways together.
Like Paris Fashion Week. I'm like, oh shit, this dude.
But yeah, the point is, yes, okay, now everybody's coming through Esquire, GQ, Variety.
Now we're not even sure.
No. Now PlayStation. Listen, Jim Ryan loves speaking to fashion brands. Okay, I'm telling you, that guy, he's got a Louis Vuitton shirt, Louis Vuitton suit going on. Yeah. He loves it. But the point is, he's told us many times that he's not going to take away your single player games. The budget that they allocated actually increased the funding for single player games. It's just that it gave even more to multiplayer live service games, because those things tend to cost more because they have ongoing development throughout the entire life cycle.
Yeah.
So listen, at the end of the day, it's a bit like when Samsung created the foldable phone. They went pretty hard on the foldable phone idea, because if you remember, now they have the Samsung Fold and then they have the Samsung Z Fold or something. They have two foldables, and they're in the 5th generation, and these things are barely selling. But they are really trying to break through this idea to the consumer that, hey, when you associate our brands, our flagships going forward are going to be foldables. They want you to think, they don't want you to think about the Galaxy, that they took away the Galaxy Note series, and then they created this like two fold series, even though people really loved the Note. But they're like, no, you have the S, which is your flat phone, and then our true flagships are the foldables. And they went super hard on that, and in the 5th generation, and they are still not selling as much as they wish they could. But guess what? They're going to keep doubling down until eventually it breaks through to the mainstream consumer that, hey, if you think about Samsung, you think foldables, because they want to be ahead and they want to be the market leader in that. And I think because they want to secure it before Apple does. I think as soon as Apple creates a foldable, it's going to be that switch where people are going to be like, okay, I've got to look forward to a foldable phone now. And then I'm going to be like, who's the best in this space? And Samsung wants to be there already thinking, yeah, we are the best in this space. It's the same thing with live service games. Sony wants to be the premier live service first party platform. That's what they want to be. So that before Microsoft can buy and integrate Call of Duty and others service games that are going to make exclusive to their platform, Sony wants to be like, yeah, when you think about live service games, you think about us first in terms of first party. So they are going hard and they are going to fail, and that is perfectly fine for me as long as they do not take away from the single player games, which I already said that they are not going to. So what you love about PlayStation, you already get. They're just trying to give you something else to love about PlayStation. But at the end of the day, GaaS games, they suck, except for the ones that don't. So let's hope that Sony can produce a few that don't suck.
Now this only hinges if they didn't, if this only hinges as long as they didn't interfere with the single player studios from making the single player games and now being forced to make multiplayer games. So that's where
true.
that's where, you know, because when they mention 10 multiplayer games, it's like who's making them, right? I know they mentioned
we don't.
That's
know
a lot of games.
We don't know anyone else. We don't know anyone yet from first party that is making a multiplayer live service game as the primary project. Because I know that Guerrilla is rumored to have like a Horizon project, but we all know that Horizon 3 is coming. So it's like,
but they also
they are growing multiple teams. You know,
they also have the leak of the multiplayer, like the MMO type game for Horizon, that was leaked.
Yeah,
it looks a little bit like Fortnite-ish graphics.
Yeah, Borderlands-ish.
Borderlands-ish, something. Yeah, stuff like that. So the question is,
like,
yeah. So I think the question is how many of the single player first party studios were put in a position where, hey, you have to follow this plan, come up with ideas for GaaS games versus me. What I hope they did ultimately is kind of like, you know, they got Fireworks Studios, Jade Raymond Studios, that they just went out with developers with multiplayer experience and be like, hey, sign on, you know, we'll pay for new IP. Not necessarily buy you out, but hey, we'll see how it goes. We'll make a game. We'll pay for it. If you want to put it on PC, fine. I'm cool with that strategy where they're outsourcing, you know. Now I get it, you know, Naughty Dog had a big factions potential for GaaS, so I see why they went after that. Maybe Insomniac is interested in a multiplayer game. I could see maybe that and stuff like that. We'll just see how it goes, but my only thing is I hope they were methodical with this because the balance is Sony's known for that single player experience, and it's because they did it better than the third party industry. That's really overall. Overall, as a first party studio, Sony did single player narrative driven storytelling better than pretty much the third party industry. There's only a few third party that could compete with Sony, and one of them is being Rockstar, right? Because their single player narrative driven story is amazing. You know, technologically in all aspects. Everyone else falls behind PlayStation, right? So that's why I hope them get ahead. But in this arena, the very best GaaS games are from third party, and some of them are free. Some of them you don't, you know, even though it's money transaction heavy, you really don't have to buy the game. You just download it. You have Fortnite, you got Genshin Impact, you got Warframe, you got Apex Legend. You know, some you do have to buy, like Rainbow Six, Destiny. Destiny's huge and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, so you have some big players in the live service games that are at the top and at the peak, right? Call of Duty Warzone is free. The annual Call of Duty you have to pay, but that thing always sells immensely. So you have a lot of live service games that's just at the peak, right? And one of the things that makes multiplayer games hard is, if you want to break out into multiplayer, you have to find your own niche. You can't be a replica of somebody else, because if you're a replica, people are just going to go to the original. Like, why am I going to play this replica? Yeah, why am I going to play this replica when the original does it better and it's been around for the longest, has the oldest community, the most content? You understand what I'm saying? So that's where the challenge lies, right? Like, what type of, you know, multiplayer live service game is Sony going to create that's creative, intuitive, new and different, right? Because if you make something that's similar to Call of Duty or Apex Legend, you know, look at Cliffy B, right? He makes great multiplayer, but when he created Lawbreakers, people are like, wait a minute, we already got Overwatch. I don't need to play this. And his shit failed miserably.
But to be fair, it's because he didn't really have a direction. Like, it was kind of stuck between two directions. Like, it was a MOBA and it was an arena shooter combined, and they just don't mix because they have different rule sets and they found no audience. But, you know, the thing is, P.O., what you just said is why they have to go hard. Because Sony doesn't want to be... don't want to create, like, Uncharted multiplayer again, where it's, like, a niche little thing that certain people love, but it's, like, it's got maybe 1,000 concurrent players. They want to break out and be the top dog of the live service industry, just like they are the top dog in the single-player industry. So that's why they do have to go hard, you know, because you take a look at Horizon for Zero Dawn. that was a $100 million bet. Like people always think about Horizon as if it was like this assured, surefire IP. That's like, yeah, of course it's going to break out and be a massive hit. Of course it's going to sell 20 million copies. But it's like, no, that was from out of nowhere from a studio that had never made a game like that before, you know. And it took $100 million to bet on it, and then they did it, and then it was successful. But the thing is, these live service games, they require more than $100 million as a bet. So they have to have that same level of engagement if you're going to propel it to be at the front of the pack. Like Sony could release, I don't know what game it will be, but let's just say X game, and then you know, is suddenly being talked about in the same realm as the Fortnites and the Genshin Impacts and the Apex Legends. But that's going to take a $200 to $300 million bet in order to even get it to that stage. Because as a live service games, you have to impress beyond what is already on the market. It's not good enough to find your own niche or your own creative way of doing things. It's like you have to learn all of the lessons. That's why they bought Bungie. And then you have to impress beyond what people currently have available.
Now let me ask you this. All right, go hard. But now is Sony, do you think, and this is opinionated, all right? Obviously we don't know, but do you think PlayStation Sony is a lessons learned type company? Like, for example, you go hard, you bet on this game, and it miserably fell. Is Sony's reaction, hey, lessons learned, let's try it again, or like, nah, you're done, we're shutting you down. And we're not doing this ever again.
No, I think they will keep trying because they failed before, right? Like, you take a look at the Last of Us Factions, which was like a middling success. You take a look at Killzone and everything else, Resistance that people keep, kind of throwing out there. But they are going to try again, and they are a lesson learned type of person because you can see it in the single player games. They have that culture, they have that in their DNA. You can see how. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if you played the final boss fight or one of the final boss fights in the new Spider-Man, but that has heavy inspiration from God of War 2018. Like, I was playing it and I'm like, I've seen this sequence before. Like, what we're doing now from a read it on paper kind of thing, what is happening in both games, you're like, yeah, this is heavily influenced by one of the other studios' games, And it was fun the second time around because they put their own spin on it, But the point is this, they are a company that learns from each other and they have that culture of learning from themselves. And I think that Jim Ryan and the further leadership that we're going to get are not going to ignore live service games. Because when you look at the fact that Genshin Impact or Apex Legends or Fortnite make like 10 times the amount of money that our 20 million, copy sellers make, and they do it on like a random, quarter, for no other reason than there was a new Battle Pass release. That's far too much money for a company like Sony to walk away from. Like, they have to learn, they have to adapt, and again, I am perfectly happy with them failing their way towards it and finding their path in this thing, as long as it doesn't interfere with my single player games. Because as long as I keep getting those, I don't mind you exploring, So it's like, yeah, they take care of what we need as a core fan base. Then they are allowed to go out and try other things and see what works and see what doesn't work.
I think that's the main thing. The concern that that it could potentially interfere with what we want. Like I agree with you. As long as the single player games that I enjoy keep coming, y'all want to feel like me. I don't give a shit if y'all make Gran Turismo. I mean, you can make all the Gran Turismo titles you want.
Yeah.
Make all the racing games you want. Just as long as it doesn't interfere with the shit I want and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a good point and stuff like that.
I might have to disagree. I don't think that Sony. I don't think that Sony actually learned their lesson. And the reason why I don't think that, and the reason why I don't think Sony actually learned their lesson is because of the fact that even though there's as much money, being left on the table or potentially being left on the table if they don't get involved, and I do agree with Extreme on that point. But I mean, we got a game called Foam Stars about to come out, and to me, that's so reminiscent of Splatoon. And then also, and I don't think.
But that's Square Enix, though.
Yeah,
but that's Square Enix, though.
That's
okay, that's Square. That's not Sony first. I know. Everybody's associating it because it is exclusive, and maybe Sony cut a deal. But that's a Square Enix thing. They wanted to make that game. And, I don't know. They wanted to make a game where everybody jizzes on each other. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, but Sony at one point in time had a game during the PlayStation 4 era that was really reminiscent of Smash Brothers. I want to say maybe
PlayStation All
Battlestar.
Stars.
PlayStation All Stars.
PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah, and it's like, you know what, Sony, I think of Sony of being innovative, and I think that when Sony is not being innovative and they're just following a trend, that's when they go bad again. Yeah,
like the cart game.
Just
what is
just,
it?
So just
Like Little Big Planet Cart.
yeah,
That's a good point.
PlayStation All Stars was a PS3 game, not a PS4 game.
Yeah, it was a PS3. Yeah.
Regardless, PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, but the point
No,
still,
I mean it matters. It matters because the thing is,
it still matters. But
yeah.
but to your point, in order for Sony to actually do well as a games as a service, and this is just my opinion, I think if they actually came back out with SOCOM and made that as a game as a service,
Stop
I think
trying
that
to
would
bring
well.
these games. Stop trying to bring these dead ass games. They didn't work the first time because the market didn't support them.
The only reason why I say SOCOM is because of the fact that that game to me is the only game that can potentially be competitive with something like any Call of Duty, where their Warzone or even any other games as a service. I'm just saying that because to me that game has the name recognition already, and so many people are already clamoring for it. So why not?
Honestly, I don't think he has the name recognition. I don't. I think amongst like a small hardcore group of gamers, maybe he does. But you ask me about SOCOM, and I'd be like, like, no, I really don't. And the thing is, I don't think that Sony should compete with Call of Duty. I really, really don't. I don't think that they should make a military shooter at all, really, unless they're going to partner with somebody else that wants to give it a go. Like, if they're going to partner with, let's say, Deviation Games that they don't own. I don't think they own Deviation Games yet, but whatever. But if they're going to partner with somebody else, like a Square Enix, that wants to be like, yeah, we're going to go after Call of Duty, then they can put some money behind it just in case it works. But I don't think that the first-party studios, even in live service, should be going up against Call of Duty. Yes, they can have military shooters of a different flavor, that are going to be like, it'd be like Rainbow Six Siege versus Call of Duty. Yes, there are guns, and yes, there's another team, but they're completely different experiences. PlayStation could come up with their own version, but you go against Call of Duty, to just be like, hey, listen, that's it. We're going after Call of Duty. I just think that's going to be a failing strategy.
Yeah, but I don't think SOCOM is a game to go after Call of Duty because it was a completely different type of game. It was more like small unit, slow tactical type games. It wasn't that fast-paced Twitch first-person shooter. It was actually third-person, and it was a much slower pace. I think I always said that SOCOM is probably a good candidate because people do love military shooters. They just want a different flavor than what's out there, right? And I think Sony has a unique opportunity to bring a different flavor of military shooter for its own platform. I think SOCOM started failing on the PlayStation 3, but the thing is, PlayStation 3 and its ecosystem as a network for multiplayer was just terrible. And when SOCOM Confrontation came out and launched, it launched around the time when the network shut down for like a month. So when you have a game whose sole purpose is multiplayer, but you can't actually play it because the network's down for a month, you pretty much killed the game. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was just bad timing for that game. But I think overall, there's certain games that PS3 came out that would absolutely, I think, would be fantastic in today's world for games as a service. Is just generations ahead of its time. Like MAG, I think is another one. The fundamental idea behind MAG, where you got three distinct clans constantly battling each other with like what was it, 128 players on the server. Obviously, 128 players on the PS3 server at 30 FPS, not a good combination. But you do it on the PS5, much better network, much better frame rates and stuff like that. And given the unique culture of each of the clans, that's just begs for money transactions. Being able to paint and equip and mask and all that stuff on how you want your characters to look, that game would have reeked money transactions to high hell, and people would have loved it, I think, right? Warhawk, I think, probably would have been, another good candidate for stuff. There's just some games I see in the PS3 that was never meant to be on the PS3. That shit should have just been locked in a vault and released on the PS5 now, right? But it is what it is, stuff. But I do see Sony, when they chase an idea that's not their own, they're not really good at it. And I think you brought up some good examples, like Little Big Planet Cart. clear carbon copy of Mario Kart. But back then, the PS3, Sony was desperate, right? They were just releasing games by the ton and throwing it at the wall and hoping to see what would stick, right? And they were forced in that position, right? Because they started out pretty terribly with the PS3 initial launch. So I understand the desperation of, yep, copy it, yep, copy it, yep, do it. Hell, they even threw in multiplayer for God of War. If you remember, right? So they literally tried to do anything just so that way they could win back the hearts and minds of gamers, saying, no, we're going to release all types of games. Battlestar Royale. But I think when you look at the PS3, the games they just did carbon copy didn't do well. Like the Little Big Planet kart was a clear carbon copy. The God of War multiplayer, no one cared. Battle Royale All-Star, that wasn't a thing. That wasn't king. But the thing when they stuck nurtured to their own stuff, the Uncharted, The Last of Us, Infamous, people gravitated toward that. And I think Sony noticed, you know what? We need to stick to this because this is what worked. And when you look at the PlayStation 4, that's what they converted to. They doubled down on the stuff that they worked, which was like the Infamous, the Uncharted, The Last of Us. Then they added Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Then they be like, you know what? Let's add to our portfolio with Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man. Even Days Gone. Some people, they said Days Gone didn't do too well, and that game sold like 8 million. That's the first 8 million selling game that didn't do too well. I was like, holy shit, 8 million failure? Like, yo, this shit is wild. A game that sold 8 million is still considered ass. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit like when Eminem, releases an album. It's like, oh, you did it at number 3?
Yeah. Oh man. Number 3? And then he's like, I promise I will never make a shitty album like that ever again. Like what?
Exactly.
So I do think that if Sony's gonna do a GaaS, you're right. It can't be a carbon copy of other GaaS games. They need to put that unique flavor in their own style. And I do agree with Extreme. It has to go big. They can't half-ass the indie budget. But at the same time, don't interfere with what people want, because you still have to cater to that audience. Don't try to convert the single player guys, because that's not going to work. Sure, there's a few, like Broken Games. There's a few gamers that dabble in everything. Sure. But you got guys, they just want that single player experience from first party, third party. They're done. Like me, I really don't care about multiplayer much anymore. I multiplayed myself out of the business. I might, if they bring SOCOM back, I'll jump on that. Maybe you factions.
Multiplayed yourself.
Multiplayer myself out of that world, right? I tried to get back in, like I bought Battlefield, 2040, whatever. I played one game and I paid $70 for that. And I just couldn't. And people are telling me, re-download it, it's great. I'm sure it is. I just don't have the heart in me to do it anymore. I just, other than fighters, I'll play Street Fighter, but my goddamn controller broke. Pissed me off, the 6-point controller.
Oh, the one you just bought.
Yeah. So
Jesus, what happened?
No, the brick. They released a firmware and it bricked the goddamn controller.
Man, you should have gone for the edge because you were on the edge about the two.
But I did the Hori. This was perfect, man. This was exactly what I wanted. So now I gotta mail. I'm waiting for the receipt label so I can mail this out, and they send me a new one. The bastards. But anyway, but for the most part, as long as the single player keeps going, and I appreciate the partnerships, and I think I will say this, and this is a separate conversation. There's a lot of brand new PlayStation gamers that don't realize how overall PlayStation became successful, right? Now they're just strictly focusing on the first party dev, which I think is more of a console war conversation than actually being a legit fan of PlayStation. Because one of the strengths of PlayStation is actually the publishing arm. They just have a knack of knowing where, it's not perfect, but more often than not, they know when they see a good game and they bring it on the platform. And it doesn't necessarily come from their own first party, right? Like Sony's attempt with this China Hero project, there's some good looking games that are out there. But apparently those don't count because they weren't specifically developed by PlayStation first party, which is just an insane concept to me. Like, so you're going to dismiss a potentially amazing game simply because it's not actually made by a native first party. That is just dumb, right? That's just insane concept to me. Like, the whole point of the publisher is, do they bring the games that you want? And that's why you chose a console. Sure, you got your first party, but you only have so many first party developers. The rest of the games got to come from somewhere. And when you look at PlayStation as a publisher versus Microsoft as a publisher, Sony just strictly has much better taste in games for their platform. It ain't perfect, you know. You have your duds here and there, right? Nobody, you know, shoots 100% accuracy, but more often than not, for example, and this goes back to generations. You go back to the 360, not even the OG Xbox. Once again, it was Rockstar that went to Microsoft first. And this was even said on the Xbox documentary. Rockstar approached Microsoft first and saying, hey, we have this plan for our game Grand Theft Auto 3. This is what we want to do. If you could back us up, we can make this game. This is our vision. Microsoft's like, that ain't going to work. And they're like, all right. Then they literally say, yeah, we don't think that's going to work. So then Rockstar went to Sony. Be like, hey, this is our vision. Sony's like, hell yeah. In fact, not only is that great, we want to lock down a 3 to 4 game deal. So before the game even became a success, they said, we want the sequels too. And Rockstar's like, sure. And look, Grand Theft Auto blew the hell up. Like, you can't make that shit up. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing with Spider-Man. Like, Sony generally has great taste. You know, it's not perfect. You know, they pick their flops. They pick their, you know, like, okay, this didn't work out too well. But, you know, Sony went after Demon Souls. They said, you know what? That sounds good. They went after Neo. Hey, that sounds great. You know, that's why I generally like PlayStation, because that company generally does have great taste and they get the games that I want, while Microsoft's trying to, you know, pick Grounded and Bleeding Edge and Crackdown 3. I'm like, no, or Pentiment. Like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, nah, your taste sucks, bro. This is terrible. You know? But
I mean, take a look even at what you just said, you know, what Xbox has done for their own first-party live service games, you know, like Grounded and Sea of Thieves. These are both projects that, for me, they are like safe bets. I mean, they are safer. No, they're more like risks mitigated kind of projects, because you didn't put hundreds of millions of dollars into Sea of Thieves when it first came around. Like, you didn't put hundreds of millions of dollars into Grounded. And those are not the experiences that I want. I still want to play multiplayer games, you know, like I played World Company for 500 hours, you know. I'm still in the mood of playing multiplayer games. I do want something unique. I am not attracted by what I see out there as the main popular shooters. So, you know, I like something that is more tactical. So the thing is, I probably would like SOCOM, the way you described it, you know. But number one, I just think that you're going to need to come out big. You can't come out and be, for example, another World Company, because that was a niche product. You know, you can't come out and just be like, okay, this is like after you've exhausted Fortnite, after you've exhausted Call of Duty for the night, maybe you play one match in this game because, you know, Sony made a cute little side game that you can play for a little bit. No, they need to come out and then stand toe to toe with the Apex Legends and with all the big boys out there, you know. So they need to actually put a lot of money into the game. And also, I am always wary of people using nostalgia as, oh, they should put this thing because, you know, 8 years ago, I liked it and I like the concept. Because gamers these days, unfortunately, they're just attracted to different things. And I'm not always sure that those games are going to translate well into a live service environment. You know, once they start bringing microtransactions into everything, you know, I'm like, is this really going to matter? So, yeah, anyways, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyway, we covered all the topics. I think that wraps up the show. Unless anybody has something to speak on. Oh, wait a minute. One last thing. They mentioned in the chat. I guess Microsoft is now blocking unlicensed controllers.
Oh yeah.
And this is impacting. This might impact. And there's two reasons for it, but let me see. Unlicensed controllers. Let me see if I can bring it up. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. All right, we'll start. Here we go. We'll use this one right here. But apparently, heads up to Xbox gamers, an update that dropped this month is apparently banning unlicensed third-party controllers and possibly other accessories after a 2-week warning. Be careful to use officially licensed devices. Info and approved brands in the comments section. So apparently, this is the, before we get into the Xbox bashing, this is the theory. One of the biggest unlicensed products that's actually a problem for consoles is a device called Cronus. It gives you advantages in multiplayer games, specifically Call of Duty, and it's pretty much bullshit, and it's ruining the experience for many players, and it's become very, very popular, right? Let me see if I could find it. Cronus, right? And apparently this device, Cronus device, Cronus in gaming, it's getting really, really popular. I think this is the device right here. It's on PlayStation. It's on everything. Are you ready to change your game? Find out more. Let's see what this thing does. Introducing Zen, the world's best game controller converter. Just got even better. Cronus Zen is a breakthrough device founded on the rich legacy of Cronus Max. Universally recognized the world's definitive controller emulation scripting technology. Zen moves that legacy forward. What does it do? Cronus uses friend scripting. Zen's powerful GPC scripting engine gives millions of possible mods combination on your controller without any special chips. But what does it do? Is it do they hide the trickery? Well, I guess you could just do scripts and stuff like that. So what kind of scripts can you do on this thing? Anybody in the chat? Because I don't cheat, so I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea what this thing does. Like, what kind of scripts?
What is it? An aimbot controller or a get good controller?
I think it says you can. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay, regular updates, rapid fire, convert semi-automatic weapons into full automatic weapons. Anti-recoil, reduce recoil on almost any weapon to give dead center accuracy. One of the best mods available. So no recoil in games. Aim assist. Aim assist snaps you towards the target if you're close to it, keeping you on target. Jitter. Takes advantage of a glitch in some games, allowing weapons to shoot insanely fast. Drop shot. Drop to the ground in prone position automatically each time you fire your weapon. Damn. So you press the trigger and the character automatically goes into the prone. Sniper breath. Aim better precision while your game character holds his breath automatically. Auto sprint. You don't need to constantly hit the thumbstick to make your character sprint. Fast reload. Be ready to unload a clip while your opponent is still reloading at normal speed. Quick
and the
scope.
final one, quick scope. Oh my god.
Zoom in and aim down the sight of a sniper rifle and then firing automatically immediately after. Holy shit. Hey, yo. What?
I said, where do you even begin with that controller? I mean, that shit just sound like just a cheat all around.
Let me see. Let me show.
It's got everything covered.
No, let's see. All the games. This thing works on Apex Legends, Ark Survival, Battlefield, Call of Duty Mobile,
baseball games, basketball games, Jesus.
Diablo 4.
Assassin's
What
Creed.
the fuck you gonna use this on Diablo 4?
Who the fuck is cheating in single player games? Valhalla is a single player game.
Destiny 2. What the fuck is going on here? Far Cry Primal, God of War Ragnarok. The fuck you gonna do with God of War Ragnarok? This shit.
Hey, I remember last time I was quick scoping in God of War, man.
This shit. God of War Ragnarok got accessibility options. Just fucking put the game on easy. Like, what's going on here?
I was quick scoping when it was when you're playing as Atreus.
Hogwarts Legacy. Like, yo, this is fucking hilarious.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but apparently, I guess, yeah. So that's the main thing, right? So this new thing will block all those because Microsoft's not gonna license, Cronus. So all those things are done. So that's one thing, right? But here's the negative side. There's many unlicensed legit items, especially apparently the fighting game community. There's a lot of great controllers that are unlicensed. Now, the reason why they're unlicensed, because apparently in order to get a license, you have to pay Microsoft to get the license. And some of these companies that make these controls can't afford that.
Yep.
So they make good controllers, but they can't afford the license, so it's unlicensed. But the fighting game community recognizes these brands because they're very good brands, and they help, I guess, with the competitive pricing of controllers. But now this fighting game community is like, if this happens, they're just gonna leave Xbox and go either PC or PlayStation permanently, and just so this pretty much will kill off the fighting game community on the Xbox side. Now, how big is that community compared to Call of Duty? I would imagine Microsoft's like, hey, there's hardly anybody playing fighters on this anyway, so we might as well just focus more on the community that's bigger. Especially after buying Activision Blizzard, they're probably more concerned on Call of Duty than they are on Street Fighter 6. That probably sold 10 copies. So, I would love to bash, but I will be honest, we all know that Xbox probably doesn't really have that big of a fighting game community, and it's probably clear they're more concerned with Call of Duty, and now they're actually doing something about it, especially now that they own it. They probably want the best experience on. When you think about it, if they remove Cronus from the Xbox, they can argue that the best experience with the least amount of cheaters is on Xbox consoles, while I think all the cheaters, they're just going to migrate on PlayStation and fucking it's just going to run rampant. So I feel sorry for the Call of Duty gamers on PlayStation. You're going to have Cronus up your anus. There's going to be nothing but these crazy fake cheaters. It's
How long
you
give me the one in the back pocket?
Like, yo, what happened?
How long you be keeping that one in your back pocket?
Cronus in the anus? I don't know. I free flow. You know what I'm saying?
That was freestyle,
I freestyle this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the Eminem of the gaming community. You know what I'm saying? I let you take the mic home with you. But yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but I think Microsoft, I could understand. Call of Duty's Overwatch, right? Because technically, they got Overwatch as well. Everybody talks about Call of Duty, but everybody forgets Overwatch belongs to them as well. Which was a Blizzard game. But Overwatch 2, that's theirs. So they're probably concerned about those games more than they are about fighting games. To which they'll be like, whatever. PlayStation can have the fighting game community. It's not going to be that impactful. It's not like they're going to lose more console sales. But yeah. All right, that's the final. Any thoughts on that?
Yo, I was going to say that number one, I actually support this. I applaud this. I think that number one is a good thing for all gamers to have less cheating devices on the platform. Number two, Microsoft can just rectify, the fallout. If there are genuine companies making genuine accessories, Microsoft should lesser or make it free for them to actually have that official license, or just work with them to bring together the products that are going to give people the capabilities that they want without them, being cheating devices, or used for nefarious purposes. So yeah, I think this is a good thing. And they are protecting the investment, not just what you mentioned, Call of Duty, Overwatch, but if they also bring like Blizzard properties to consoles, like if they bring World of Warcraft to consoles, if they bring StarCraft to consoles, those are games where a lot of people cheat. So kind of preemptively making this move, being like, hey, listen, if you play on Xbox, you're not going to have people cheat in StarCraft or whatever. Then that will be it. They could come up with like an official keyboard and mouse. I know that those games cannot be played on controller. They could come up with an official keyboard and mouse that, you can only play these games with that accessory. And then they will have licensed partners to also, provide other options. But yeah, no, I think there's no reason to bash Microsoft for this. I think it is a positive move. They just need to kind of, do the due diligence and make sure that gamers are not left behind because of it.
Yeah, if they make it easier to get third party, cheaper for third party, to do those things, then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Or even kind of partner with those third parties so that they actually pay those third parties to create official like Xbox certified products. Because why wouldn't we want more ways of controlling, like you just had your controller being bricked, right? Imagine if that controller had partnered with PlayStation to be like, hey, PlayStation quality control is going to be, assured.
It is official license though. It's Hori.
No, but that's a license. That's just like we gave you a license to be on this platform. I'm saying like partnered with PlayStation.
Oh, partnered. Okay, yeah.
So that it will have, there's the seal of quality.
But Hori usually, I just got bad luck.
Yeah, you just got unlucky, man.
Yeah, Hori is usually, within the fighting community, people love Hori. I just got asked out. I wasn't meant to play Street Fighter.
You just wanted to use casual mode in Street Fighter 6.
Okay, I guess, you know what it is? That's it. You know, something's telling me stick to modern controls.
It's not actually bricked. You're just pretending.
Stick to modern controls, dog. That's why. Stick to modern controls, dog. All right, you're done trying to use this button. Yeah, we know you're trying to pretend to be hardcore. No. Put that away. You know, grab the regular PlayStation controller. Play some modern mode. You too old for this shit.
Do the cheap combos. That annoy the professionals.
Your arthritis is kicking in. Cut it out.
That like treat this like Spider-Man. Circle and triangle.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all you need, right? You need 3 buttons.
That's your combo right there.
3 buttons. Use your modern control. Stop it. Stop playing. You know, the days
of the arcade are long behind
That's
you,
it.
man.
Yeah. Stop playing. All right, people. Hey. So we'll start doing our shout outs. We'll do our outros. We'll start with the brain. You know, a guest.
Hey, I don't got much to say. I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is actually called Hosting for Judge. That's from a couple of years ago when I ran for judge. That's another story for another day. But if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me there. Excuse me, it's not called Twitter no more. It's called X.
Oh, he ran for judge. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about, because we're going to bring some of these gamers to court. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Brain, so I made you a podcast guest. So now you no longer have to jump into the waiting room. You could directly jump into live on air. Jump in anytime you want. You are more than welcome. You know, today you were a guest. Tomorrow your family. Just walk on through, grab a beer in the fridge, jump on the couch, jump in the conversations. You know, no longer do you need permission to jump on the cast. You know, if you got something to come off your chest, you could just click right on live on air anytime.
Certainly appreciate that. You know what? I do got something to get off my chest. Extreme said something last week, and I actually captured it, or rather watched it after the fact that y'all were talking about the dating list. And he said one of the things that kind of made me spit my drink out of my mouth, where he said, take a girl out on a date for a funeral. And I was like, man, what type of Addams Family Gomez Adams bullshit is that? Like, that was about what were you thinking when you said that?
No, he didn't say that. That was on the list.
I literally said the opposite.
That was on the list.
Yeah, that was on the list.
I literally
that was on the
opposite.
that was on the he
wow,
said
you called me at me. I'm just like, whoa, what the hell?
I was like, whoa.
That's my fault. I misheard that.
Wanted the drama. Hey, surely I'll say something else. Surely I'll say something else.
No. I think one of it was family outing, and I think he used funeral as a reference. Like, no, that's a bad idea. What, you're gonna take a girl to a funeral? No. I remember you were joking. Yeah, bring her because you're gonna replace the dead one with the one that's alive.
Exactly. I said we need to replace him. That was a joke.
Oh, that was a joke. Oh shit! Oh yeah, that list was crazy. Instead,
Hey,
you know what?
Come on, you got something else. You can't be coming up weapon. You were bringing out the guns and the revolvers out, the semi-automatic.
Hold on. You know what? Before we leave, we're gonna do off gaming topic.
All right.
Okay. This is it right here. I want y'all to look at this video. Hey, so we got another off gaming topic. You know, I'm gonna make this a trend.
Wait. Is this the OnlyFans chick?
Yep, you. Hey, we're gonna do it. Hey, we're gonna talk about it. You ready, chat? Hey, chat. This is what I need from y'all, though. Listen. We're gonna off topic. This is a good one. Another off topic. All right. But here's the thing. Once again, 422 votes versus 108 likes. Like, man, you guys give no shits about the likes. It's all about the votes on this channel. 422 votes just to say you don't play Destiny. 84%.
I'm telling you, these guys are tricking for the poll, man. They love the poll. We've got to monetize that poll.
I gotta hijack. I gotta hold this poll hostage. I gotta put. Exactly. Hey, I will create a poll after 200 likes.
Hey, that's exactly what Lono does. If you watch Reforge Gaming, he's like, hey, we can get up to 400 likes. I'm not talking unless you get...
What? Then what do you want me to do? I'm just going to sit there on the camera and say nothing?
Sit there and wait. We're just going to sit there and wait. It's going to be awkward for everybody.
Everybody stay quiet.
Emmanuel's going to make jokes about funerals. You're going to see.
Imagine if I did that. You know what? I'm just not going to talk until I get 200 likes.
Hey, the brain. I made the joke about being in the church and being baptized in her waters. That didn't make you spit out your drinks.
Man, can I get a like?
The funeral really,
The funeral one
the
is the
first
one.
row joke really, it's the one that did it, yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna do a staring contest until I get 200 likes.
Alright. Well, while P-Rock is losing to the chat over there, because I don't think they're gonna, unless you offer them a poll. Remember last week you offered them a brand new poll. Those likes went up by 100 immediately.
All right, what new
I'm telling
poll?
you.
Man,
Brand
I
new
got
poll.
what new poll?
Okay, so I got an idea for you.
All right, here we go.
You are forced. Okay, you are forced. You know how they always say that Sony forces you. You are forced to pay for a game for $100 base price. Okay, $100 game. Which game will be worth it? Okay, the next Horizon. The next.
Yeah, but how can I
Last
do
of
that?
Us-
Oh, after. Oh, okay. So we're gonna end this poll. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna close this poll because one, I'm being, it's just insulting that I see 428 volts. All right, so let's do a new poll.
All right. So
Okay.
which game? Which game is worth $100 base price? You're forced to choose one.
What's the
next
first one?
Horizon? Next Last of Us? Next SOCOM? They're gonna bring back something, and then I don't know. Somebody else pick another option. I don't know what games.
Horizon
Fat
3.
Princess.
Last of Us 3.
Yeah.
And he said Fat Princess. All right, so we got. How about this? Horizon 3, The Last of Us 3, Ghost of Tsushima 3, Ghost of Tsushima 2.
Ghost of Tsushima 2. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have from PlayStation first party? Oh, what's like a big nostalgia push that people keep like?
Wolverine. Let's do
sharp about?
Wolverine.
Yeah, but that's not nostalgic though. I want to prove to
want
people that they don't care for nostalgia. Like what's like SOCOM 3? Like could we put SOCOM 3 there?
Nah, that's not
What's
gonna
on-
work. Because that's gas. Let me think of a single player game. I'll think of a single player
Okay,
game.
fair enough.
A solid single player game that we haven't seen in a long time. Oh, that's nostalgic? I got one.
Nostalgic as fuck. Yeah.
I got it. Soul Reaver.
Okay. I don't even know what that is, so that is nostalgic.
Oh shit. He's like, I don't even know what the
I was
fuck
just
that is.
watching.
Oh, I got it. How about this? How about this? How about
Bloodborne
this?
2. Bloodborne
Split-
2.
Bloodborne 2.
You
There we
for
go.
Bloodborne 2. There you go. That's a good one.
Bloodborne 2. Is Bloodborne spelled with a U?
No, it's American. Remember,
B-O.
Americans don't like use.
All right. B-O-R-N-E?
Yeah.
Really?
Hey,
That's not-
you guys are only getting this poll if you get up to 200 likes. Like we are holding the poll hostage. You want to get on the poll? You've got to hit the like button.
All right. Bloodborne, hold on. All right. Okay. Oh, it's all one. That's why it's all one word. All right. I was doing it 2 words, but it's actually 1 word.
Some people say Dino Crisis true. You know, there's some nostalgic folk in there. You know, they
All
know
right. So
what they
Bloodborne
like.
2. All right. So which game is worth $100?
Yeah, and you are forced to pick one. You can't just be like, I'm not paying
gotta-
$100 for a game.
Which
You gotta
game?
pick
Well,
one.
that's not even an option. So I just put the 4 options. Which game is worth $100? 100 real.
I'm pretty sure that translates to nothing. They'll be like, hey,
I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
10,000.
All these games.
Which game is worth? It was worth $100. All right. So I have the poll set up, but I'm not clicking start until I see 100 likes. It's hostage. That's it. We're hostage. It's hostage taking. Right now, while we're doing that, here's the off topic that we'll talk about. All right, so let me give y'all a quick background on this scenario, so that way you guys know what it is. Is the likes going up? I think my likes is stuck because I'm stuck at 108.
164 on my screen.
All right.
Yeah, not too.
So can y'all refresh it and let me know when it's at 200? Because I'm holding this hostage.
All right.
You will,
All right,
you will
well,
never see. Listen, you will never see this poll until I get 200 likes. You understand me? And no, Liam Nielsen retired, so he ain't finding no one.
You will never see this poll again. All right. But anyway, so in the background was ex-NBA player Joe Smith. Great talent. I remember back in the days when he was playing. Great talent. Awesome power forward. I even remember in his college career. Whatever, right? So he retired a long time ago. He had a great career. The woman that you see recording the whole conversation, that's his wife. Apparently, he just found out she has an OnlyFans page. All right? He just found out. So right now, he's talking and she decided to record it. So now I'm gonna mute my mic. Let me raise the volume, and we're about to hear what's going on. All right.
Stupid, bro. I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, yo, the disrespect that comes with it, that you couldn't even talk to me before you did it, that's bullshit, yo. That's fucked up, Keith. I'm telling you, bro, that's fucked up.
Wait, no, calm. But you're not gonna say fuck me or that's fucked up. It's not fucked up.
You recording me? What the fuck you doing?
Listen, it's not fucked up, and we're going to. Okay, look. So, I have an OnlyFans page, and he's mad because he's just now finding out about it.
Of course I'm mad I'm just finding out about it.
I'm not doing it with anybody but myself, so why should I have to tell you my choice, my body, my fucking choice?
I'm your partner. You're supposed to come to me and talk to me.
Joe, I've been talking to you about mad things. I've been asking for solutions to shit. You're not giving me none, so I created one.
That's no solution. Not in my book. That's no
You
solution.
knew who the fuck I was when you met me.
Before,
I
knew that.
thought that I would never have to go back to anything like
I knew
this
that
again.
beforehand,
But
but
unfortunately,
no.
that's not the case
After
right
that,
now.
after that, everything's supposed to change.
Everything did change.
No. Obviously, it hasn't.
No, it had to. I had
Obviously,
to do something.
It hasn't. You stood out there showing your body. You stood out there doing stuff like this on camera.
You act like that's the only thing that I do. I have mad jobs, but they're not facilitating everything that needs to be done. So I got something extra. OnlyFans be breaking me off. What the fuck?
Come on, Keisha, with that. It don't matter what they breaking you off. It's the disrespect that comes with it.
What
You
disrespect?
couldn't come and talk to me about it.
Okay, well, we're talking about it now.
Because I had
so,
to find out on the fly.
all right then, but now, okay,
No,
so wait.
I had to find out on the fly.
So now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Okay. And so? Whatever. I've been doing what I have to do, period. Like, that's bottom line. That's what it is.
Woo! Hey, how many likes we at?
We are 168.
That shit didn't move.
They got caught up in the drama of it all. You know, they were watching the show.
Yo, you know, I'm gonna be nice because I want to know what the poll. I'm interested in the poll anyway. I'm a softie. You guys, you know I can't hold you guys hostage. You call my bluff.
One day he's going to have guest hosts. I'm gonna be the host. I'm gonna hold all of these polls. We're gonna start at 250. We're gonna start at 250.
Wow, these guys are voting like shit.
Look at these, man.
Look at this. They're all voting. Boy, it's like
Hold on. Let me vote.
Can I put a pause on this? Anyway, so while they're voting, let's talk about this, right? What do you guys think about that? Let's start with the guests. Brain, what do you think about that? The whole scenario. What's your opinion on that?
Man, that whole entire scenario, that shit was bad. I agree with Joe. That's man, you got unless he lives in California, man, he throw that bitch off the house, man. Fuck that. That's just another level of disrespect and defect. Oh man, hey, I'm gonna go back to what Extreme said. Yeah, take her to a funeral. Fuck that bitch. That's what I think.
Ooh, man. Ooh.
Wait, whoa. I feel like you're using my joke in a completely different context. I do not co-sign that. He just said take her to a funeral. I don't know whose funeral he's talking about.
Like that's not the time. Like, yo, we do not condone. Wow.
I do not condone that.
Like, whoo. All right, yo, Extreme. What do you think? What are your thoughts
first
on
of all,
this?
I'm going to distance myself from my words because clearly people are using them out of context.
They weaponized it. That's it.
I'm
It's all your fault.
weaponizing my words. I never said take any woman to any funeral. That is her own, okay? I never said that.
Oh, he said take her. Hey, we're gonna do what Extreme said. Take her ass to the funeral. No, that's not what I said. That's what you said.
What I meant.
But that's not what I meant. I said it, but that's not how I meant it. Talk about ambush journalism. We have a quote.
Exactly.
We have a quote saying that you'll take your women to the funeral. Can you expand on that? That's not what I meant. Like, yo.
I do not co-sign it, whatever it is you're saying. So listen. the thing about this situation, right? Um, Number one, I don't know these people, and I don't want to judge from the outside in, but I will say this: no matter your relationship status, you should never put your shit out on the internet. Most of you shouldn't even tell your friends when you're going through problems in your relationship. You should just kind of handle it on your own, and if you need a third party, get professional help. Go ahead and go get some co-therapy, was it couples therapy, or some kind of counseling, marriage counseling, or whatever it is that you need to get. If it's a financial thing, get financial planners. Like there are professionals out there that you can navigate your issues with as a couple, and those people should not be the general internet, because now you have all of this internet discourse that is honestly going to corrupt things. People are looking at her being like, oh, you need to throw her out, you need to do this, you need to do that, completely dismissing whatever else that she has as a person or that she brings as a wife, because now this is the only part of her that they see. This is the only kind of like vignette into their lives, and they should never have had this look, they should never have had this glimpse into their relationship. And that's just everything before the whole OnlyFans things. Whether you think your partner should have the right to have an OnlyFans, without, like, I don't care if they were arguing about ketchup. You don't put that on on the internet. Like, have your argument about whichever condiment you want to put go with the grill, but don't record your partner and you having a fight. Like, I can't even believe we have to say that. Like, ages ago, people would call their friend and be like, oh, he did this, he did that, and that was problematic enough. But now you put it on the internet, like the World Wide Web. Like, are you kidding? Again, that's my main problem with it, right? It's like, it's not even the argument itself. It's the fact that you've recorded it and you've put it out there. And also, don't record your partner. Like, come on, let people have the right to, like, what if he said something really mean that he didn't, what if he said, I'm gonna take you to a funeral, and now he can't walk those words back because he said it in a moment of anger. Now he will be like, oh, he's a wife basher, he's a killer, he's a this, he's a that. Like, what if he said something wrong, like extremely wrong, and now it's like his entire brand, because he is a public facing persona, right, of some type, even if he's been a while. So if he said something that was a little bit off the mark in a moment of anger, you could have ruined his entire career. Like, what are you doing? Don't record your loved ones. Like, don't, especially in bad moments.
Hey, but she kind of implied that there was a money issue because OnlyFans is breaking her off. Well, which then leads me to think, well, wait a minute, if he was I don't know how. Now, I don't I'm not going to sit up here in front and say that I know who this person is, because I don't. But if he was a basketball player, I'm assuming that he had to make good money regardless.
Yeah, he did make good money.
Yeah, so to me, it's I agree with you that stuff like this should not be on the internet, but taking it at face value. If I'm married, and this is my key point, if I am married and my wife has an OnlyFans account, I'm hey, my marriage is kind of tarnished now, because it's supposed to, I'm married to just you. I'm not married to you on the internet. I'm married to just you. And the fact that now you're showing off your goodies for everybody else to see, it's like, Porter Rock, you said something a long time ago. I mean, that's, I'm gonna use your words. That's community pussy at that point.
He did say that. He did say that. He did say that.
So I'll start off with Extreme. I completely agree. So I looked at Joe Smith's age, right? So he's 48 years old. So him and his wife probably similar ages. They grew up in the old school way, right? Keep your business. That's why he turned around and says, "Are you recording this?" Because that's not he's used to. He's used to, I'm discussing a situation with my wife, like, we're involving strangers. So kind of like what Extreme says, back in the days, just mentioning it on a phone call was like, why are you spreading our business, let alone on the World Wide Web, where now this is trending and it's just viral. So now you have all types of random people. You got people who probably never even been in a relationship putting in their 2 cents, right? You got all this stuff. You're going to have Red Pill podcasts, Men versus Women podcasts, all this shit. They're going to use this as weaponized, right? Now she recording because she adopted a mentality that I think she's too old to be adopting, with let me pick up my phone and record and let people know the drama that's going on in my house for clout and for whatever, right? And she got that because she's doing the OnlyFans thing, right? From his perspective, that's his wife, and she's out there doing all this nonsense. Even if it's by herself, she's pleasing random men. Like, why are you entertaining random dudes on the internet for money, right? When you're a wife, like, that's your. Do they have kids? I wonder if they have kids. I know. Let me put it this way, because they're probably old enough to have. If they didn't have kids, it'd be one thing. But let's say if they have kids, they're old enough to at least have a kid in their 20s. Let's say if they had a kid at 25. Let's say their first kid. 20 years later, they'll be 45, 23. They can have a kid anywhere between 18 to 23. If I was their son, I would flip the hell out on her. I'll be like, Ma, you are out your goddamn mind doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know how many dudes, if they find out, they're just going to weaponize this, antagonize me, antagonize dad, antagonize the family, because you out here want to entertain random people for money? Yeah. Like, there is no way we could be that broke, right? Now, Brain brought up a good point that, yeah, he used to be a basketball player, millions. Probably he was living the millionaire lifestyle while he was playing. Now they're probably high six-figure lifestyle. You got to tone it down a little bit.
Apparently, they lost it all. I looked into it a little bit. They had money issues, like there were hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because they were living that lifestyle even after he finished his career.
Oh, so Joe
you
Smith.
know, so there's a lot to be said about like black especially black sports people, you know, because you get all of that money when you're 20s, man. You do not have like any thought about financial responsibilities, you know. So I can understand why she went on. No, not why she, but why he found himself kind of actually in debt after all of that fame and all of that glory. But the point is this, you know, what we were saying is that it doesn't matter. What you said, Piok, is if the kid is at 20 to 23 years old, he's going to be mad at her. That's actually better than if he was in high school. Like, it's in high school that you're going to get this. Like, could you imagine if your mom was on OnlyFans and she's a famous figure when you're in high school, the amount of bullying that you're going to get? Jesus Christ, I'll just leave. I'll just work from home. I'll just do study from home.
You know, like I would like divorce my parents.
Exactly.
Change my name. I'm like, yo, I don't know y'all. Like, yo, I don't know y'all, right?
But I'm removing myself from the wheel. Like,
yeah. But here's the thing. It's clear that when she got with him, it was with the money. She wasn't in love with him. She was in love with the money. And now that the money dwindled away, she has no respect for him. Because she said, oh, if we could talk about it now, like, this is not, like, God forbid, like, let's say if this was something that me and my wife have, this is not a conversation. Like, the conversation, like, how do you, as a couple, begin to say, hey, I'm thinking of starting an OnlyFans. Let's talk about it. Like, no. Like, that's not a conversation. That's like, already, then let's just get a divorce then. And then you can start your OnlyFans. Like, there's no conversation. Like, how is this a conversation? Like, no. We'll just, if you want a divorce, just say that. That's the conversation. And then you can do whatever you want. If you want to do things like if you're not married, then just say so, right? But then to hide it, and then he finds out, and then say, oh, we could talk about it now. Like, me, if Joe Smith is a better man than I am, I'd be like, bro, you already crossed the line. Like, I already see you don't give a shit about me. We just get a divorce. Hell, I'm broke anyway, so it's not like you could take anything from me. So I'm in debt. So that's it. I'm packing up my shit. You do you. Go have fun. Like, there's nothing to talk about. You already crossed the line. We're done. Like, clearly, this is not a decision of respect, because I just can't see how you can do something to embarrass your partner. Like, I would never do something to embarrass my wife. Like, and vice versa. That's just not even on the table. That's just insane what she pulled. Like, that's just crazy. Yep. And then, like, he's, like, upset, and then you record him, and you put this out there live. Yeah. I mean, like, what is she expecting? Is she expecting community support from random strangers? Like,
I don't. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like, what do you think is gonna be the outcome of you?
Yeah.
For me, that's actually a far bigger betrayal than the OnlyFans thing. Like, because for me, I'm like, this is the kind of shit that we see in every type of relationship. Again, I don't care how trivial the matter is or how serious it is. You don't record yourself and put it on the internet having an argument with your partner. Like, who taught you? Like, who raised you? Like, come on.
I see that a lot from the young cast, like young kids, teenagers.
Exactly.
Because they grew up on the internet. So I can see why they don't realize this is a bad move. But they're an older couple. We didn't have internet. There was no internet. There was no social media, so they should know better. But she, woo, off of rockers and stuff like that. All right. So anyway, so that's the off topic of the week. Woo. It is what it is. Yo, I'm so glad that I found my soulmate. I ain't got to deal with this. I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it in today's world. Dating in today's world, I would just be a gigolo. I'll just be a sugar daddy. Like, I don't give a shit. For real, I couldn't do it. I'll be a sugar daddy. I'll be honest. I couldn't. If I couldn't do it, I'll just be a sugar daddy, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm starting OnlyFans." So I'd be like, "I don't give a shit. I got another chick waiting for me anyway."
Hey, P-Rock, you keep saying you're gonna be a sugar daddy. The OnlyFans is gonna find you. They're gonna come to your Twitter and your DM and be like, "Hey, I could use one of you."
I'd be like, "Whatever." You know what I'm saying? You whatever. I got the next chick on the way, anyways. You could do whatever. Record your OnlyFans. I got the next one being delivered. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. This is too stressful. Oh, and I just couldn't. Like, this is back to back, where the first thing that gets done is whip out the camera to record it. Oh my God, that shit would trigger me. I'd be like, I know you ain't break out that phone recording. I know that phone is not on record, boy. You want to entertain people? Because we're about to entertain. Boy, if you don't put that goddamn phone, oh wait,
and then they would be like, you were threatening her with violence. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like, I can't believe he actually kept it together that much. The fact that he's not copying any flag for the way that he reacted, I'm like, bro, you're a better man than I am.
He is,
like,
man. He is.
I hope at 48 I have that kind of like self control, because I know I'd be saying some fly shit.
I will have a mugshot. I will have like the ugliest mugshot ever. I'll be in a database with a mugshot. Yo, it would be crazy.
Listen, I'll just be like, yep, that's okay, cool. I can't believe, like, I cannot believe he had that much self-control.
I will shut off the Wi-Fi.
For me, that's a bigger betrayal.
I will grab the Wi-Fi and rip that shit off.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit. Man. Anyway, so right here. So... Yep. So I got more likes than votes, so I'm going to end the poll right now. Once again, we end off the show on a high note. But the final tally is Ghost of Tsushima 2. 35% say that's worth $100, especially over The Last of Us 3, Bloodborne, and Horizon 3. Horizon being the lowest. Wow. People really...
Actually, I'm not surprised about Horizon being the lowest. That's a good quality. That's a good roster there.
Yeah, but Ghost of Tsushima, people are really amped about them. That might spell good signs anyway.
Yeah,
all right.
Actually, that's interesting.
That's interesting. We'll see. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Wait a minute. We did the brain shout out. Extreme, we got to do your outro.
Oh, well, I wanted to actually take you to task, B-Rock, because you said that PlayStation's communication is atrocious this generation. And I was like, I can't co-sign that. And I was like, I'm going to bring it up on the podcast.
Okay.
So, do we still have time to take you to task for that?
Okay, sure.
All right. Listen, P-Rock. PlayStation's communication is perfect. Okay? It's just that in the absence of communication,
I'm not even going to listen to this shit. I'm not listening.
People make up shit.
Like, let them talk.
And the thing is, I am happy with the way that PlayStation is communicating. What you gonna say? You're not even gonna entertain me.
Shit, this guy out his goddamn mind. That is cap. I thought he was gonna be serious.
How is that cap?
He said it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm not even listening to this.
I just played Spider-Man 2.
Hey, I want to apologize. You might as well just mute the show at this point. I'm not even.
I got us 5 more likes, okay? Because they agree with me.
This. We're not doing
they
this.
agree with me.
I'm not even gonna put myself through the torture. I'm not doing this. He said, I'm not even entertaining this. You might as well be, I might as well be Joe Smith right now. And hear that, you're doing the OnlyFans. I'm not hearing this. We're not entertaining this. We're not entertaining this. We're not entertaining this. Is he not talking?
Wait, the brain.
I don't know if he's
done.
I'm not entertaining this.
PlayStation's communication.
Hey, brain, you got that. You can handle that. You the new guy. You gotta take on that.
What?
You ain't putting me to task.
Sony's communication.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, this guy on crack.
I'm at a 9 out of 10.
I'm not even doing this.
Probably 10 out of 10. I love it.
You know what?
I love the way it is.
You know what? As long as they keep on coming with the games, I don't care. If
That's
they don't
my
say shit.
man.
This is some
Hey,
cap,
I like this
bro.
one. I like this one. We're good. We can wrap up the
You know
show.
what?
You can
This
find me
deserves
on
the
Twitter.
double cap
It's all
award,
good.
bro. Congratulations, bro. You got the double
It's all
cap
good.
award.
Info
God, you just
Extreme
capping,
on
bro.
Twitter. I'm
This is some
happy
cap
with this.
shit right here.
This is a good conclusion to the show.
Welcome
We
to the
love
double
it.
cap award.
Hit the like to support our
There you go.
perspective that all of these children
This
that
is some
need
double
PlayStation
cap,
communication
bro.
every single day. We don't need that in
PlayStation
the
communication is
community.
perfect. This is some double
Perfect.
cap. Congratulations.
I
This
ain't
is
saying
the
it's perfect.
official double cap award.
Hey, it's okay, the brain. Don't
Shout out to
don't
J
say
Rowe.
anything. Don't say anything.
Exactly. You got it,
Your
buddy.
outro already came.
You done?
We're done. We're done.
You good? You got it off your chest?
Yeah.
You got it off your chest? once you said it's perfect, I'm like, I'm not listening to this. I'm not doing this right now. It's too late. You got to start that in the beginning of the podcast where I have the energy. I ain't got the energy right now. I couldn't. Once you said it's perfect, like, if you would have said any other starting point, like, it's acceptable or it's appropriate, I'd be like, all right, why is it appropriate? And you said it's perfect. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this.
It's perfect.
I'm not. No.
I love
Anyway,
it. I love
hey,
it.
this is your only friend in these YouTube streets, PorterRock77. Keep the likes alive.
187 likes,
shit.
people.
Yeah,
we can make it to 200. Come
Yo,
on.
congratulations!
30 more likes.
You won the official double cap award. You are the first recipient.
The brain
of the
is there
double-
with me.
of-
It's all right.
of the double cap award, man. You are the
I've got
first
good
recipient.
company. I've got good company.
Anyway, Brain, I hope I see you more often. You're welcome anytime on the show. Great intro. Glad you're here. Thank you so much for rocking out. And to the chat, to the members, to everybody, I truly appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out to another 60 Frames No Like podcast. I will see you guys next week. Happy Halloween. You guys take care. Hey, we're heading into the holidays. Peace. Oh, shit.